Welcome, everyone, to the Rival Challengers League playoffs. We're so happy to have you here. It just got serious. And it's so serious, in fact, that I've brought another friend to join us. Spoo, you and I usually have this held down, but we've brought yet another Sunny. Welcome to the show. It's awesome to have you here.
I'm just super happy that you called me a friend. That's super surprising to me, but also exciting. No, I'm just excited to be here today alongside you two. You two already know how it all goes down. You showed me the ropes here. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure. So to remind you of how it all goes down, Spoo, let's go ahead and start talking through this bracket. We're in the playoffs. It's our top 8 teams, but I'm only seeing 4 teams here. Are you telling me that we've had to split this into a group stage?
That's right. We've reached the playoff stage where the top 8 teams of East Asia are here to duke it out to see who's going to be the best before now that we're inside the postseason. And this is indeed the group stage. It's a Group A. We're playing it inside a double elimination GSL format where, as you can see, 4 teams will come in, 2 teams will go out and join us on day 3. Today is going to be Group A. And as you can see, we've got Reject, BB, Rival Esports, and Team Aqua lined up. A lot of heavy hitters coming in today. And I'm so excited to get this underway, especially because we've got our dear friend to join us.
That is right. Yeah, we've got some heavy hitters, some of the favorites here in the round 1. We're going to get through those and then send 2 of those teams down to the lower bracket. We'll get another taste of what those lower bracket teams have for us. But ultimately, we're going to produce 1 team from the other bracket and 1 team from the lower bracket. And those 2 teams are going to go on to represent this group in the final stage. And I think we're about to get ready for our very first match. But before we do, Sunny, is there any match that stands out to you or any team that you're thinking will make it through the upper bracket today?
I mean, it would be an easy pick here to go with the 2 that we already know. Here in Group A, we have Reject and Rival Esports. They're well known also in the BSC. So, of course, I'm going to look out for them. But as always, my heart beats for the underdogs. So I would hope for BB or Team Aqua to maybe make it through to day 2.
I would love to see one of them make it on to day 2. Like, we've just barely seen them make it into the top 8 slots here. So it'd be an excellent story. Sonny, we'll have to catch up with you later. For this first match, is just going to be you and me, Spoo. So let's start talking about it. We're going to be getting started here on Dueling Beetles.
Oh yeah, and looking at that beautiful map graphic that we've got down there, we know that it's Dueling Beetles. Gee, I wonder why. But this map has progressed quite a fair bit, and in East Asia, I don't think the meta has shifted up too much. Now, I have a bit of a spoiler that I've got to say. I did just come from the Kalalas Cup finals, and so I'm a little bit more in touch with what the SA meta is doing. So my predictions might be a little off, but there we go. Rejects Melty is on cam, guys. You guys have been requesting this feature for forever. And on the other side of BB, we've got Onimaru. That's the way you read out his name over there. And if you guys are wondering why you're seeing stuffed animals on the screen, this is not a static image, by the way. This is actual live feed coming in from our players here. And they have elected to not show their face for privacy reasons. And we're more than happy to accommodate for that. Thank you so much, Freddy. So we're really jumping into that draft at the moment where, yes, indeed, it is going to be Melty up against our 3 Pokemons here. And already the bans have gone through. It's, I think, nothing too particularly peculiar. I think the kid making it through to me is the biggest surprise of the day. So already reaching the 4-5 turn of the draft. What do you make of this?
Well, okay, look, what I will tell you, you are surprised at the kid getting through. We saw like the heck spammed out of this in North America. So it had some pretty good impact. In fact, I think it helped our #1 team in North America in the most recent monthly finals get #1 in the previous monthly finals. So I'm looking at the synergy there. That's one that stands out to me the most. Frank now making an appearance on the side of BB. So this is like pretty standard. Honestly, you could call it like the meta of several months ago. The Frank and Barry just being such a healthy and tanky combination. I feel like there are ways that Reject can fight like this huge amount of damage. They can't like auto aim with the Amber anymore, but there are definite ways to like break down some walls. You know, Griff is definitely one that stands out to me. Bo also would, I think, be pretty solid.
Yeah, could be a nice selection there to pair it up, but no, they're still going to be going for this Draco selection. They didn't really have a vehicle to put the kit on at the time, so now that they do, and this is going to be their tank option going in to probably deal up with that Frank, but it's not particularly the best of matchups going into this Frank, and I actually feel that this is one of the weaker tanks that they could have gone for. Would have much preferred to see a sort of harder counter there to the Frank here, but I guess Reject believe that they are just better in this matchup regardless of it. They do have the most broken brawler in the game at the moment, which is going to be Kit, so they do have initiative at least when it comes to the strategy that they're playing it out, whereas BB, though, they're lacking a little bit in the damage department, I think, and I think their timing is sort of more in the early game before this Kit starts to come online and start tearing things up.
Well, it's time for things to get started. Game #1 is already underway, and BB are all up on this point. It is their business right here. They cannot be taken down. Shu already has a hypercharge, though. It's going to be big for getting a stun, but not much else. Another stun going down onto Melty, and oh my goodness, Onimaru's going nuts on this support assassin.
Oh yeah, this guy's certainly flexing his muscles here on this Barry. Bottoman's gonna try and stop his aggression here though, but the spacing is just perfect from him, so he's gonna have to be forced to retreat over to that right lane instead on top of Melty, now playing synergistically up against that Frank. Great dodges from him, and with Shu bombarding from the long range, now with the jumps as well, they reclaim full control of the center, and Melty's even got a hypercharge ready for the retake.
Mini on the right side, hypercharge equipped, ready to push in on the right. Going to take a decent amount of damage. Also, along the way, here comes in Barry. Definitely too aggressive. And without the healing, it's going to mean Mini won't be able to stay alive here. Reject all up on this point once more. BB are leading for the time being, but they need to attack as a full squad. Also being mindful of this Kit hypercharge. That's the 3-tap for Battleman. When Morning gets another super in hypercharge style. Make that double. Melty all the way behind should get a nice little double-pronged approach onto Minia over here, and it does end up being successful. Hypercharge now out from Melty. Brings Reject to the precipice of victory.
That was one of the most sickest double stuns I've seen there from the Kid. And even then, the spacing from Melty just to completely dodge out the Frank hypercharge super was just so precise. I think at this point, a lot of players have kind of had this locked down as well. They've memorized the way that the Frank stun is going to go. But nonetheless, every time I see them dodge that Frank hypercharge perfectly, I'm always so impressed. And it's Melty that we're talking about here on that Draco. So I wouldn't expect any less.
Someone tell Melty that, like, the whole Angels part of the Angels versus Demon thing, that was like 2 weeks ago. He looks like he's coming to us straight from Evan. The dude's dressed like an angel. He looks like he sleeps on a cloud, for Christ's sake. But I digress. Reject. They had such a strong game number 1. They've gotten that control in game number 2, but it has been pretty even so far. It amounted to 20-20 off of the initial interactions, with every single member of both teams falling. BB still are attempting to create some pressure in, but they haven't managed to replicate that success that they had at the beginning of game number 1.
Yeah, they're changing things up a little bit. I think Frank here a little bit maybe more cognizant about breaking up those walls, but didn't even get full value and a full wall break off, just like in that game number 1. He's got a hypercharge now, but with contending against this Draco and the Melty hypercharge, he can't even stop the stun for a moment. Just way too much damage. Gonna be burnt down. Melty just cleans house from left to right, like a little windshield wiper, so to speak. Didn't even need Bottoman's support there. Now gonna be continuing to cycle things out. Double stun there going out from Bottoman. It's healed up there by the berry, allowing this Frank to go in, but it's a little too late, if I have to say so myself. 93% and counting. Shu pops off the hypercharge. Melty's just trying to stay alive as long as he can. Pops the last stand and waves goodbye to the set number 1 to BB. Reject take the first set.
Excellently done by Reject. It looked a little bit slippery there. It looked like BB might be able to take it in the beginning, given that they got such a sizable lead. The Frank Berry seemed to be quite problematic for them, but Reject, they still fired back. They managed to get it done. Excellently done stuff for Reject. And honestly, in my opinion, a pretty good draft from BB. And I would hope to see that they replicate this kind of stuff going forward into Pinball Dreams, and then later, you know, Knockout. If they can get a set, then we'll at least go on to set number 4. But given what Reject showed us, the adaptability that they have, I do have my doubts.
Oh yeah, I think it's expected to say as much. I mean, Reject are such a strong team that because of the fact that a certain division and a certain raccoon just kind of didn't show up, we have to crown Reject as sort of the biggest titan of this entire tournament, that is the one to bring down. And BB, unfortunately, are the first team in their path of destruction. So we expect to see a 3-0, at least from my end. But I do think BB, at the very least, are capable enough to maybe get a bit of a drafting lead in some of these games and maybe steal a game and maybe a set down the line, because Reject is not particularly the best when it comes to the draft.
Something to know, and something that we have said many times before, you know, pointing out, like, they're obviously a strong team. They have a star-studded roster. Each one of these players has been in the scene for quite a long time. Batman really only being the most recent introduction. He's even been around the top tier of the East Asia scene for quite some time, at least a couple of years. So when we identify their weaknesses, draft always comes to mind. In come the bans for both teams. Standing out to me from Reject is that they'll be getting this Cordelia's first pick. It's left wide open for them. Some important things I would say also banned out by BB. Gotta love the Willow ban for the team with last pick. It just, you know, shows ball knowledge right there. She is just one of the best first picks that you can have on Pinball Dreams.
Yeah, it slipped through the pool. It's the premier anti-tank of the season, and you know, with the way that it's playing with that sort of jump gadget as well. I mean, on a map like Pinball Dreams, you shut down so many of the pairings. It's a good, decent matchup into throwers. It's a decent matchup into tanks, and up against most mid matchups, just generates so much pressure. We have seen Reject pilot this to great success in the previous season 4 of the Rival Cup already. But BB, they're not shying away from still selecting decently aggressive brawlers. They go with this Charlie Lily pairing here. Charlie just, I assume, just sort of the safer mid option here. They could have gone with the B as well, but Charlie's just a little bit more survivable. And Lily, they don't want to be picking up like just hardcore tanks up into the Cordelias, but they still do need a sort of aggressive option, and I think Lily's just perfectly fine in that position.
So into Lily, what do? Well, you survive her. Yep, looks like Reject have the right idea. They'll be going with the Hank. That's not going to get 2-shotted, not 3-shotted, not any shotted by the Lily, not without firing some torpedoes in retaliation. Final selection from Reject coming in, it's going to be the Jae Young. There's going to be immense speed at their disposal right out the gates. They can rush things up if they want, and given that Charlie takes, I believe, 5 shots to get super, it was buffed quite a bit. Could be 6, but you know, it does take her a moment there to get her super. You could absolutely overwhelm her right off the beginning of the game, which I think Reject are capable of. Of course, that's not the entire game, but just having that ability is going to be huge. Ollie also should be able to slow things down just by, you know, the threat of hypnosis, also having that goal-scoring combo with a gadget in the super.
I'm not too convinced by it though, gotta be honest here. Ollie isn't the highest of damage dealers in this department, and BB, they seem to already be suffering when it comes to the damage. So I see 2 matchups up into the Hank that I don't like. I see a Charlie that's gonna be mostly denied value just because of Shu's Jae-Yong here. I think he might even opt to run the star power that gives him a boost to damage every time he gets that piercing shot, which just completely turns Charlie's gadget against her. So it's gonna force him into a bit of an awkward spot here. Battleman just got fantastic matchups. He's already on the hunt.
Well, he's finding his target. There it is. Hyde taken down. Now looking up the right side. Being mindful of the spiders. That's hypnosis on the left side, but Melty survives with the use of a gadget. Now at risk of hypnosis on the left. He's been hard focused by many on this left side, but oh my goodness. What a bounce pass from Melty over to Battleman to secure goal number 1.
They're just so strong. I mean, this draft just seems completely winning there for Reject. I'm not even sure what they can do. It's kind of an open goal there. Ollie almost got it done there. Shu and Melty barely got it done to save the game there. A nice super going to be popped out there from the Charlie. Just slows the game down just a little bit. The BB are really, really far behind. There we go. Hyde with the hypercharge, though. It's going to be able to bring down the big problem in the form of Melty. But you got hypercharge on your own in that back line there. Almost gets it done. But a nice cocoon there and passes across there to the Lily. Should be able to secure a goal. A walk-in at the very least. Tries to pass it across. No! Disaster strikes. Melty sees the play. 4-dimensional chess play from him. Blocks out that goal. And we're back to square one for BB.
Cinema here. This defensive bastion in Melty has prevented not just 1 but 2 goals so far. He even shrugged off a push in from Lily, and he's gonna do it again with those nuking torpedoes at point blank range. Now in pursuit of Minia, going to be rewarded for his efforts. It's a 3v2. There's got to be the walk-in. That is exactly what they needed. Cordelius to hard focus the main CC on the enemy side. Hyde, impossible to defend that. That'll be a game for Reject.
Difficult one for BB. Really, I can't even think of a way they could come back from this, just given the tools that they have to work with. It looks like they have to play more synergistically, try to find those cheeky angles where Reject have sort of a chink in the position, and then trying to find a way to just pass the ball across and play that way, because the matchups just aren't going in their favor. We're not even seeing a lane swap come out from BB. It looks like an exact same start there, where Battleman just continues to express dominance onto Hyde, put one in the Shadow Realm, set Melty up for that walk-in. Now even Shu trying for that cheeky cheek. It's a trick shot into 3 people. He doesn't even need the super here. But a little bit of overconfidence coming out here from Reject.
Hey, look, that move was 0% winning. It just shows the kind of matchup that Reject believe that they're in. They're like, okay, can we get this over with already or what? They have themselves in a pretty solid offensive position anyway right now. Here's a speed, instant denial from Charlie on the right side. Melty now going to get hypnotized by Minia. It's a miss super for Hyde, but it's not over yet. Shu needs to pump out some serious damage. Needs a gadget to get additional damage, but won't be able to use it, or had the trigger discipline to decide, no, it's actually not going to be a winning interaction this time. It's a 1-goal advantage for BB at the mid-game.
Reject now have a chance though to have to start to press on their advantage. Once again, they're predicting where Hyde's gonna be, while Melty just completely cleans house there on the left side. We see a hypercharge super there from the Charlie, and manages to stop one there, but Melty even gonna be committing the hypercharge here. Just get a bit of a self-pass going on the goal, but kind of Melty once again just hypercharge super there from the Lily to disconnect the ball there. Great defensive play from Hyde.
Smart and really good that Hyde had that online as a defensive maneuver. But these kind of things, they can only really bail you out. That was at the goal line. That was a near miss from BB. 50 seconds to go. Reject needs to put 2 goals on the board in order to win this one, and they at least need to tie here. They've got the speed at their disposal. Battleman has a super. Gonna vault the wall while putting Charlie in the realm. It's exactly what they need to do, and here comes an assault in from Hyde. He cycled yet another super. Gonna wait for that shield to go down from Melty before using it, but gets nuked by the torpedo. Shu has the angle to eliminate the brawler at the goal line, and has enough in the tank to get another. That's gonna be a hypercharge walk-in for Melty, but what a near miss there too. Had only 1k HP remaining.
That's a really crucial hypercharge there from Melty as well to be expended. Going to overtime, he's going to be needing that move speed so crucially. And Hyde now with a beautiful hypercharge that gets one, gets two. Now the pass across. It's only Melty there to stop him there. But surprisingly, Onimaru there passing the ball there to the wrong side. I think he was spamming the auto aim a little bit too hard there. Passes the ball straight to Melty. A tricky trick shot there and then catches his ball off his own bank shot. Beautiful play there from Minia.
Oh, that was wonderful to watch just now. And yes, there's the winner cam. You know what? It's because Reject won the first 3 games in a row that I low-key forgot that we had Piplup, Tepig, and Turtwig on the player cams there. Lovely, lovely stuff. I hope we get to see some more game wins out here from BB. Possibly a set win if they keep playing the way that they did just a moment ago, and we'll get blessed with the presence of those plushies once more.
Yeah, this is the first game that BB have won so far. Let's hope that the win hasn't left their sails. Hyde is still gonna fall. The first one, as always, it's kind of standard issue at this point. The start from BB has always been really challenging. They're the team that is banking off more of these abilities, but still great defense from them so far. And another kill there from Hyde onto Battleman. Didn't really want to commit the Shadow Realm there or the jump to save his own life. And that's gonna give BB central control and the ball.
Ball now moving to Reject's side. It's in their clutches. A pass up to Melty on the right side, a reposition again. Hyde is looking for the optimal target. Knows that he was going to get targeted by Battleman, and he's in the realm, just keeping his distance. A hypercharge super onto Shu would be excellent. He could chain it onto Battleman, who hasn't really got any supercharge with him right now. But now the hypercharge is starting to come out. There's a missed one from Hyde. Screw it. Go in the realm, man. Look for whatever you can. He tried to find Shu, tried to anticipate the positioning. Not going to happen. Melty receives the pass on the top right, but cannot get that ball super around. Didn't have the angle. The team wipe is looking pretty good for BB to put one in the goal. Battleman, oh no! That was a disaster right there. He probably could have gotten the kill, instead opted to put the enemy in the realm, but did so for himself as well and allowed the goal in.
A bit of a panic moment there from Battleman, uncharacteristic from him, but the recovery from Reject is strong. They take down Hyde and send one more into the Shadow Realm. Should be an easy walk in there from Melty unless Charlie gets the cocoon in time. Nope, he will not. And so Reject, after a bit of a disastrous defense there from there, will just immediately equalize the advantage.
Overtime looked pretty solid for them, though. They've only got 40 seconds to work their way there. Another weird super out from Hyde. At least he's in the Shadow Realm for now. Oh, wow. What a play from Charlie. Instantly puts Hank in the cocoon and gets the set taken home for BB.
Oh, that's gotta be. We need a replay on that. We need a replay of that for sure. That was such amazing synergy there from BB. They realized they couldn't really play the matchup, so they just played the objective. Ollie getting a clutch hypnosis onto 2. The utility there and to just block out the final defender using that Charlie super and then clearing the way just for an easy walk-in. Man, I said that this could have been an easy 3-0, and I said the BB comp kind of was bad, but okay, they show up and they really show that they're here to play.
My goodness, BB, what happened between set number 1 and set number 2? And it's not like they weren't making mistakes either. I want to say hats off to Charlie right here, because some of those cocoons were absolutely clutch. Also pretty good defense there on the goal line from a Hyde when he popped the hypercharge in the super at the same time to put the enemy in the Shadow Realm so they couldn't score. That was really, really smart right there. Some pretty close nail-biter moments from Reject as well in that last one. But BB, they come out on top. They've ensured us at least a set 4.
It's always good to see a team that doesn't immediately get swept here, and in the playoffs, this is kind of what we expect. We're going to be jumping into our third draft, though. It's going straight to Gold Arm Gulch, one of the slightly more passive maps of the game, and Reject, they lead out with 3 bans. Interestingly, here we see Kit and Cordelius banned out here, Buster as well, and then they immediately snatch up the Ollie, which is one of the only late-game options.
Gus now making an appearance from BB. This is a brawler so versatile and honestly so overused that it has recently become ban-worthy, because it is a crutch for a team that is not feeling confident or they're playing really, really safe. And I would actually say the same for BB here. You'll see experienced teams use it, but usually it goes to the team that believes that they're the underdog, and I would say that BB has it spot on if that is the mentality influencing this Gus selection. That said, it'll also be a nice pairing for the Kaze when she decides to go in aggressively. They could also pick something else aggressive as their final selection. We see Reject have opted to go for Charlie as a defensive maneuver, and also for Bonnie as just a really great offensive player. You know, has some good defensive capabilities in forms of her HP, competitive range with Gus, should be able to escape from Kaze and deal some pretty substantial damage if necessary.
I like this comp there from Reject so far. It's very Reject-centric though, I've got to say. I mean, this is not something that you'd see, for example, in NA or EMEA or even SA. Like, this is so Reject style. Leading up with the Ollie. You could have gone Bonnie first pick if you wanted to here, but they were just so comfortable with this pickup. And I think you saw this a lot in SA as well. They're using these walls and golden guards as an advantage. Sort of poke up very quickly there, that star power. Just walk up super duper fast and get a tempo in the lane. But BB though, last pick from them is going to be this Squeak. And I have to say, this seems to be a reaction there to this Charlie selection. And I'm honestly not too convinced by it. I'm kind of a bit of a Squeak hater. I just feel that it doesn't really add too much to the draft. I mean, if you get to a late game situation with this comp, it's kind of good. But the Kaze there, I think, wants to play a little bit more early game centric. And that's exactly where Reject have covered, you know, pretty well with these picks.
Yeah, I'll give you my take on the Squeak. I don't really hate it. I just think that, you know, it's usually a pretty targeted brawler, or it's typically only last pick worthy, and I just don't see that much the Squeak is targeting over here, with the exception of like Charlie Spiders, which will be one shot, really just not easy for Gus or Kaze to deal with either of those, so could be a pretty shrewd way, and also just possibly a comfort brawler for Minia over here, which is so important to be able to keep your nerves on ice in a matchup such as this. That's going to be the first super in from Hyde. She was being mindful to stay at the edge of the inner radius. And as it expires, we'll see Battleman go for the one-man army play. Okay. And Melty finishes off the kill. Hyde in with a hypercharge, manages to survive. Cocoon on the top right. Hyde needs to infiltrate Melty's defense over here. Melty's going to be getting a lot of shots and has worked his way up to a hypercharge, but no super, and it's a round win for BB.
Was about to be a 2 versus 1 clutch there for Melty. I think if he got one more shot off, might have been able to cycle out the super there, throw it onto the Kaze, but in the end, didn't happen. Couldn't clip farm fast enough over there. And so Reject are gonna kind of fall back a little bit here, not play too aggressively at the moment. We see Battleman there not actually using that second star power with the speed, so he's opting to go with that larger shield here. Melty going really aggressive there onto the Kaze on the right, kind of bullying her, knowing that this matchup up close is certainly favored for this Charlie.
Hyde in, that's a clip right there. Hit 2 crits in a row, now in with a hypercharge from Shu. That's a kill, and he barely hangs on. Hyde says, nah, I'm good. Now in for the pinch on a Battleman, who's lacking in damage, but manages to keep Kaze away. One more shot from Gus will do it. Battleman needs a hypnosis. He's got it. Whoa, that's 1 kill. Hyde is in pursuit of Battleman. Needs to get him while he's low on HP, but Hyde can't do it. Battleman's camping near the poison. Hyde manages to get it done, but only by a hair's width, and that's another goal on the board for BB.
Put 1 game inside this set. Really surprising so far. The Reject are kind of playing a little bit sloppier, I've got to say. Over aggression there from Melty kind of punished this. I mean, it's a little bit uncharacteristic there, and I don't think that aggression is really warranted from him. But they've still got one more game to try and pull it back here. They've got to change something up, and at the moment, we're not seeing it just yet. It's just really passive gameplay from the start as usual. It's business as usual, so to speak. I mean, all 3 players will be trying to just charge up their supers here. It's BB that have a slightly more aggressive comp, and Cookie Popper already primed there from the Gus. They might be looking to make a play.
It's all about farming the hypercharges and supers in the early game, but more importantly, those supers are the ones that are more near on the horizon. Shu is gradually weaving his way in versus Gus on the right side, who's gotten his shield. Now in comes Hyde, looking for the pinch. Battleman jumps away. Definitely the right decision, as he was at risk of being pinched by the Gus. We'll see on the left side, Melty's playing the range game versus Mini. It's going so well so far for Melty, but gradually, Squeak is working his way in around these walls. It's about to be drive time, though. Things are closing in pretty quickly.
It's drive time now, and we see Battleman jumping straight onto that, gets the hypnosis play in, but Hyde still stays alive even after Melty threw the whole kitchen sink at him. They don't have the damage to get through this Gust Shield or any of the BB members for that matter. And Reject are going to be now one game away potentially from losing the whole set.
This is looking drastic off of a draft from BB that we thought was less favorable than what Reject had to offer. But the way they're playing it is so aggressive, and it's paying off. Hyde has even got his hypercharge. It's going to be valuable when he pops back into the Geisha form, which he is undoubtedly waiting for, unless Reject let him have the collateral of a lifetime, which he might also be waiting for, given that he's still sitting in that form. Now back to the Geisha form. When things close in and that poison forces everyone towards the middle, a hypercharge super out from Kaze would be absolutely devastating for Reject, who are still at the moment working for their hypercharges. They've gotten their supers, just playing for a bit of the extra value for what could be their final round.
It's a tough one, though, for Reject to push into this hypercharge there from Hyde. A nice connection there from Minya is already going to start putting in the hurt here. There we go. There's the slow in action. Shu had to kind of jump up there out of desperation to just avoid the bulk of the damage here. They're trying to isolate some of these BB members, but a hypercharge is going to be coming in from the Gus here. Reject still have the numbers at the moment, and they're pushing the entirety of BB into the smoke. Very well executed there, but once again, it just seems to be BB just jumping the gun a little bit early, and that seems to be the demise. Less so of Reject showing off something proficient.
Well, let's see what BB have to offer. This is for the entire set. If they can stay alive here, they've lost one of their number, but it's been a trade. That's another one taken down. Hyde falls. It is Gus versus the world, and a very unlikely victory for BB is waiting for them. Here comes in the Spirit Animal. Battleman can barely survive, and Gus tried to get away, but expert timing from Battleman kept Reject in it, and it gets them one game to tie BB's.
1-1 now between both of these teams. They're showing that they're pretty evenly matched here in terms of the comps. Both of them have a really different sort of win conditions and timings that they're playing now. And I think in a weird way, they both are kind of competing for the same timings, and they have resources in both of them. It's just that it really comes down to the way that they execute and the minute detail of how the abilities are landed here. We see a small interaction skirmish there between the Kaze and Melty. Once again, the whole time they've been duking it out on that lower side of the map.
Hyde's playing that aggressive position once again. This time, though, he's being fought by a Charlie. He's trying to reposition over to Ollie. Better matchup for him, but he's getting way too aggressive. My goodness, if you were hit by that one shot from Shu, then BB would have lost one member, and they would have been dead for this round, practically. Reject did not manage to capitalize on that kill, though. Shu's mark was just barely off, but Reject have taken this opportunity to post up at mid. They have the positioning that they want. Also shrugged off that Kooky Popper. This could be the moment where Shu gets to push in. It would be ideal for them to bait the super out of Gus first. Now, here comes the poison to force everyone even closer. Shu's going to go for the most obvious target. There goes Squeak on the right side. Hyde in pursuit of Shu will nearly get the kill. It's just exchanged out by the poison, and Gus is focused on not feeding any more super or hypercharge to Reject. From the brink of victory, BB has been brought to this ultimate round from Reject, and they're thrown whatever they've got, even storming the left side in a totally different rollout.
Barba not managed to sneak through, though. It's going to be getting the jump there onto the Gus. This should be an early takedown for the side of Reject. The gamble from BB just not really paying off here. Now we see a jump there, hypercharge there from Shu, catches out Minya. Hyde is the last woman left standing and not going to be able to make it very far here. Reject, they've turned on the switch. This set goes to them.
Real close one, though. BB nearly had it, and that was a major cause for concern for me, at least. We'll get a look at some of the top moments from that last set as well, and just break it down. Oh, or not. Yeah, you know what? I was always a sucker for a black screen.
Well, folks, not everything is perfect, as you can see.
You know, maybe there just weren't any good moments.
Yeah. Actually, that was completely intended. Yeah, there was no good plays made by either team so far, especially in that set. Yeah, actually, there was nothing. Yeah, there was nothing notable there. I mean, you know what play from Battleman that he was making there? Yeah, nothing. We'll just move moving on. not worthy. But we are moving on though to another map, and it's gonna be on Crystal Arcade. They have rolled the dice on this one, and this map is another one that once again I think Reject so far inside the RCL have had mixed results on. It's a map that is a little bit more aggressive centric nowadays with those side lanes, and I think so once again it's these type of maps that I think teams really have a good chance to capitalize on. The more aggressive that maps are playing out nowadays, the higher the cheesability, and that's where weaker teams I think have a chance to steal some comps.
Okay, Crystal Arcade Draft. What could possibly be in store for us? One of the things that I always look out for on Crystal Arcade is the Ashe. Just a favorite of mine personally that can be such a threat in these lanes. Usually one of the biggest issues with these lanes is that they're so far away from mid, they're so far away from each other, makes it tough for the mid to play alongside their lanes. I look at Ashe just having longer range. Now given it is East Asia, so I'm not really betting on it too hard. What we're seeing so far just makes so much sense. Bonnie, a very strong brawler at the moment. How's it going to fare in those lanes? I actually do have my doubts, given that that's going to be a tough one to retake if it is ever lost.
Oh yeah, I have mixed feelings about some of these brawlers. I mean, Lumi is a brawler that I just have this sensing that nowadays she's not as good as she used to be. She's becoming a little bit more of a vulnerability in some comps, especially when there's no clear tank matchup to play into. This is one of those maps where you still can get priority on the lane really quickly with that gadget, and once you get control of that, it's easy to lock down. But you do fall prey to assassins, which is where I think BB may have in their headspace at the moment. Lily is banned out, so they will have to look out for another different option. I saw SA try Ali here, and it was a complete disaster. So yeah, Kenji seems to make a lot more sense, and I can tell it's Kenji because yeah, the star power and gadget was sufficient. But yeah, it seems a pretty good option. And Reject are just gonna cap things off with the Ashe selection here, so they're not really too afraid there of that Cordelia's matchup. They're trying to stick the Lumi on it, I believe, and then just prey on the fact that this Gus is a big weakness into that matchup.
Okay, well, I said I love the Ashe, and Reject has fulfilled my wishes. I really just do love seeing this brawler here. I think it's so good, and the Kenji should be able to survive, should have some pretty crazy damage at also respectable range. At one point, also outranging Kenji, provided he's not running the star power that gives you additional range on your like wide slashing attack. So we'll get an idea, but I think it would be well advised to go for the other star power. Here comes Minia. We're on the left side, immediately going for the lifeblood of the team and feeding a super to Shu in the process. Something that needs to be addressed with supreme caution. Shu's just going to go for it. Okay, and waiting for Kenji upon re-entry, but Minia's beaten up these backlines.
He'll be able to survive this thanks to that shield. It's a 5-gem lead there for this Gus. Onimaru is just doing a tremendous job now in the mid just to stay alive. Minia tried for a play there on the left lane, but just immediately punished there once again by both Melty and Shu. And Cordelius is now on the hunt in the Shadow Realm up against Melty, but this is not the easiest of matchups. Almost goes down to the last shot. On the right lane, though, Bottomman continues to dominate this matchup up against the Kenji. Hyde should be going down here up to Melty's Hypercharge. No, manages to survive, and so it's still going to be a trade of positions there.
Okay, BB, they have possession of this right side. Is Melty going to be able to properly break that up? He's maybe able to take down Hyde inside the Shadow Realm. Hyde's keeping his distance, dealing damage with those mushrooms. Melty's about to come back to the real world, but Minia's not ready for it necessarily. Here come the rats down. Melty's got one kill, looking for another, or just survival versus Hyde. Only one gem topples to the ground. It's not the worst interaction. She's going to pop a hypercharge to stay alive. He's even rewarded for his troubles with a kill on the right side. Oh my goodness! And what a hypercharge from Battleman. That keeps Reject ahead. They've only got one more gem till they could start a countdown in their favor.
BB need one more to make sure that they're keeping up at the very least. Target should be onto Melty. No, Hyde goes for Shu. Instead, it's a long-range one. It's kind of a gamble that he has to make here. Barely managed to heal up thanks to the little bit of heal provided by that mushroom there. But meanwhile, here on that right side, the skirmish is going absolutely well there for Reject. Managing to just completely rob the Kenji of its gems here. And in the back, they've already got 8 to wait. So Bottomman is going to retreat all the way back in the base, kick off the countdown while Reject continuing to blow up what's going on here inside the mid.
10 seconds to go. Reject at the gates of a match point. They just got to keep their back line secured. Shu's got the hypercharge to make it happen. Minia trying to get in, but doesn't even have a visual on the gem carrier. It's going to be match point incoming for Reject.
Oh dear, this is not what BB were looking for when they came into this series. They were looking pretty well there in the early game, I have to say, for this match in particular. They were up 5 gems at some point. It just seemed like Battleman flicked the switch on his Cordelius, toggled a little bit, if I may add, and then just started to just pop off in every single regard. All of his abilities there just used so well. But we're on to game 2 here, and Minia takes the first blood here on that right side. I believe he did win out his matchup against that Lumi here.
Just one more to go for Reject to go ahead and end this match. In the previous set, it nearly went to BB in the early stages before Reject clawed it back. Now they could get a dominant set to end things off and find themselves a further position in the winner's bracket, just one win away from a spot in playoffs day number 3 in the top 4 here. But they've still got to fight for it. Battleman is really overextended on the right side, but thankfully he's bailed out by his 2 teammates, one at mid, one on the left side. They've both got hypercharges to use, and they've only got one more gem that they need. BB, they're desperately behind on the utility. They got to make a big move now, and it's got to count.
Oh yeah, Shu.
Well done, Reject. You know what? I had some head-scratching moments there, but Reject, they still execute in the end. Even in situations where we were doubting perhaps the win percentage of their draft as well, they still managed to bring it true. Like in Knockout, I think was one of the more suspicious ones. BB, they brought out the squeak. We were kind of questioning it. Wait, why is it working? And Reject, they still bring it back with consistency and just the general things that we praise them for outside of the draft, which we identify as a weakness. They're great players and they have great mechanics, and more often than not, that can take them to victory.
Yep. The disparity between these two teams is vast, and we're not gonna pretend that it isn't, because as we said at the start of show, Reject is the team to beat for this tournament. And I'm with Sunny's predictions. They are, I mean, after all, the BSC team. Just looking at these stats though, I mean, 11-3 from Shu. Bonnie's been in an excellent spot, but I didn't expect so much domination coming in from them. And the amount of devs across the board, it's mostly concentrated on Battleman, but that is sort of the only brawler that BB dedicated so much firepower to try and counter. So it's completely understandable here, at least to me, that this was the pathway for them to win, but it just wasn't really enough for them.
Unfortunate for BB, but we'll still get to, you know, say what's up to them in the lower bracket later. But for now, I think this would be a good moment for us to bring things back. You know, maybe we can bring back our third caster in just a moment here, as we get to reflect on this last match. Reject, they were such a wonderful team to watch this last match. BB, they put up a strong fight. I mean, also look at the scoreline. They got a couple wins up there. They got 3 game wins, in fact. By the time that we saw that 3rd game win from them in set number 3, I started to think like, oh wait, maybe they have a chance. Like, do we see a set number 5? But no, it was brought back in the end by Reject.
That's right. That's going to be the first game for us. Done and dusted. And we're going to be bringing back Sunny really, really shortly here. In the meantime, though, the next matchup that you guys are going to be looking at should be Rival Esports, namesake of this tournament, haha, and Team Aqua, which, if you guys are not familiar with, they have are a team that have just, you know, they've not been around for quite a long time. So, yeah, I mean, you're gonna recognize some of these players. They were around from the very first season of Rival Cup, and I believe they just had a decent enough placement that they managed to actually qualify, which is the wonderful part of the way that the points are distributed.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you'll have to excuse us. We're just trying to sort some things out on the back end. But for the time being, yeah, we can start talking about our next match that's going to be coming up. Why don't we take a look at the bracket and see how things have developed? Spoo, talk us through it. We saw Reject 3-1 versus BB. BB, a team that, honestly, I think we had some doubts about whether they'd even be able to take one set. So they're going down to the lower bracket with a set already under their belt. And we're going to head into Rival Esports versus Team Aqua very soon.
That is right. Rival Esports versus Team Aqua here is a matchup that I think has happened before, all the way back in Season 1. But honestly speaking, it's been so long and so many patches have changed that a little bit, I would say it's hard to guess who's going to prevail on top. But naturally, you've got to have to look at Rival Esports as the favorite. They're the team that's actually qualified for the LCQ. And yeah, they are definitely the favorites here.
This is very true. It's just a second. And I think we'll be operational once more in just a second here, as we're just getting Sunny back in. Okay, I think we have it. Hello, Sunny. Do we have you?
I think I'm here, yeah, and I hope you can hear me as well.
Yes.
On my end, it was okay, but yeah, in the background. I'm also a little blurry still, but I'm sure that's going to load in
There we
very
go.
quickly. We're also not that important. We want to talk about the game, and honestly, I'm super proud of BB. At least they took a set of Reject, and keep in mind here, BB, we did not see them in the BSC. We did not see them play last weekend, where Reject actually has won it all. They're the current champions of the East Asia region, and now they're also won their first match here today in the Rival Challengers League. So yeah, super exciting stuff out of them. Also from BB, maybe we're going to see some more surprises from them today.
Well, I'm certainly waiting with bated breath, but for us to get there, we're going to have to go to the lower bracket. In order for us to go to the lower bracket, we got to send another team down there. Up next, we got Rival Esports versus Team Aqua coming up. I'm going to step down for this one. Spoo, I'm going to let you and Sunny have it. So, take it away.
So,
Hello,
can I
Sunny.
speak?
It's been a while. Yeah. When's the last time that we cast together? Let's see. About a year ago in B stream, I believe, when yeah, everything back then was very, very different. And I'm so happy to have you back. It is truly a pleasure and a blessing to have you. Yeah.
It is very exciting to be here. Yes, the last time you and me worked together, me as a caster, was a year ago, but we very recently worked together when I was a host, so it's not too far away. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm looking forward now to our next match, which is very similar to the one we just watched. On the one hand, we have a team that, yeah, has been playing in the BSC very consistently. Rival Esports has made it into some semi-finals. They weren't in the top teams of them all, but they have been playing very consistently, and has also made it into the semis last weekend. Now, there it was 3-2 against Reject, the team we just watched. In the end, Reject won it all. They won 3-0 against Safety Division. So you could say the one team to be able to really compete with Reject is Rival Esports at the moment.
I have to agree with you on that. Rival Esports are a personal favorite of mine. I had the pleasure of hosting them before this team even came together, and I know they have such great potential. They're definitely the most improved East Asia team, for me at least. And I'm biased, right? Because once you've had someone at your house, they become family. So to me, this is like watching them, grow up. I'm so happy they barely made the LCQ. But so far, though, they've only won 1 out of the 4 of the Rival Cups that they have hosted. So they're not like big-time champions or anything. Reject have still been completely slaughtering them in this tournament. Hopefully playoffs is going to be a little bit different. I am rooting for them though. So just a quick update, because I am also administrating this tournament while we cast this, so forgive us for a little bit of that. We're waiting for player cams before we can start. And it's a little bit buggy at the moment. Sometimes these player cams don't work the way as intended. This is not the most cleanest when it comes to some of the setups that they have. They're using phones and whatnot to show us their faces, but I'm willing to wait for it. So don't worry, the game should be starting very, very soon.
Huge props at this point also towards Ready and Spoo. They're both administrators, producers, casters. technicians, graphic designers, any title I missed out on. Yeah, they're doing everything for this tournament. So huge props to them, huge shout out. I'm super happy to be here today and yeah, help out in front of the cam. But they're doing everything behind the scenes. So yeah, bear with us here. Again, rival on the one hand, and then on the other side we have Team Aqua, a team we don't really know too much about just yet. They did make it into the top 8 of the Rival Challengers League, unlike, for example, Crazy Raccoon. So that's already a huge success for them. And yeah, we have Zen, Shake, and then a name I unfortunately cannot read. I need to practice my Japanese. That's something we figured out today. And there we have one of the players from the side of Rival. It's none other than Terry. A huge shout out to him. He's been claiming many star players in BSC as well. And now I'm excited to see him also on the Rival Challengers League.
As handsome as always, and that jersey is so sick. I mean, I'm not here to promote any particular teams and their jerseys. That's not really part of my whole shebang. But I've gotta say that the merch from Rival Esports this year has been really well. And on the other side, though, on Team Aqua, Zen46 is going to be showing more plushies. Really cute from them. Love the way that they're doing it here. I mean, I just want to point out that half of the teams expressed sort of that they were a little bit shy to show their faces. I don't think they want to do a face reveal just yet. These teams have not really, gone into the sort of light of sort of BSC yet, so their faces are still very much private information for them, and they just weren't really comfortable to make their debut here. So we've allowed them to do this, and I want to see the plushie game level up across the days.
With so many plushies on this stream, yeah, it's something that we don't usually see from the players, but it's a cool replacement, I feel, if they don't feel comfortable enough to show themselves on stream. Now on the one side we have Terry, on the other side we have, I think you know that series, Spoo. Where the plushies are actually from.
I think it's Chikawa or something, but I'm not actually too familiar. Anyways, we're not here to cast plushies. We're here to cast some drafts. Oh wow, a little bit of a short tongue going on here. But yeah, first draft of the game is going to be going over to open business here. It's on Hot Zone. Ban's going to be coming in really shortly. But Sunny, I think it's time that you and I show off our ability of being an ex-coach and flexing out our beliefs on it. So let me know what you think about these bans. Is anything in particular that catches your attention here?
We're an open business. Once again, a map where Cordelius is going to be good. You can play on every single map and mode, so it makes a lot of sense. He's banned out here for now. Crow, the top most played brawler from East Asia in the previous months in scrims and also in the monthly finals, so it makes a lot of sense. He's banned out here as well. I assume Team Aqua is first pick here, just looking at the bans. And then Frank is a little bit outside of that what we usually see here. Actually, first pick on the side of Rival Esports. Very interesting that they decided to ban out Crow, banning out 2 tank counters and the Frank that could potentially open up the map. Just speaks volumes in terms of, yeah, they just probably want to show as a really tanky comp here.
I'm all down for tanky comps, and when it comes to Rival Esports, it's time for me to educate about the Mameshi Special, which is also known as the fastest way possible to speedrun to the airport if you're at LCQ, because it's a comp that other regions say it doesn't work. Now, when's the last time that you saw first pick Draco or first pick Hank in EMEA? That's right, never, and there's a reason for it. But here, we're in East Asia, we're not in EMEA at the moment, so Mameshi can still get away with this Draco first pick. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's way too early inside the draft for it to conceivably work. And yeah, it will allow Team Aqua to get the Cat of Death. Kit is in the house, and pairing it up with, one of the best vehicles on the planet in the form of this Hank. So a lot of versatility coming out here from that Team Aqua comp. I love it.
It's such an interesting side here. Kit actually was the most banned brawler, whereas again Crow was the most picked brawler in the monthly finals. So both those already have a showing in the very first map I got to cast today. Hank and Kit gonna be a very good comp here, very tanky on both sides so far. Now let's see if Rival Esports will pick up something to counter out those brawlers. They would have to pick a tank counter, which with Charlie and Cordelius out of the way, there's not that many left open. Maybe a Terra could come in here, maybe something to just support their Draco. And it's actually going to be a Barley. Herbal Tonic is going to do the trick when it comes down to healing. Finks for the mid control, and we saw how oppressive Finks is on a map like this one. Spoo, with his super, you have full control. You can dodge any incoming shots, but we don't have that many single target, single shot brawler on the other side, so I don't really know how good Finks is going to be against triple tank from the side of Team Aqua.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling that Team Aqua kind of borrowed Mameshi's playbook here. They're the ones that are going sort of triple tank and just going 3 aggro brawlers here. It's a great way to deal with the things, but it's a massive gamble. I've got to put it out there. Nonetheless, I still think Mameshi should be getting full value as the things here, but early aggression there from that kid, gonna be getting an early trade there, and just buys Team Aqua full control off that mid.
Interesting to me that the rival didn't pick up anything to open up the map here. Against triple tank, they need something with a lot of DPS. They do have that with the Barley at least. Finks will also do his or pull his weight here, but it's a super tight match here for Rival Esports. With that pressure that Team Aqua gets right from the get-go, they can't even find their way into mid. It's already almost 60% to 2%, and Rival, keep in mind here, are the ones that play in BSC. They are the well-known team here.
They're the favorites here, but not at the moment. I think they may have neglected this cat of death, and it's now going to be going in there. Death to 1. It's a stun onto IC, but surprisingly not really getting a full commitment there. Tried to get greedy, goes for that secondary kill there. That's going to end up costing the lives of 2 of their teammates and allowing Rival Esports a little bit of an entry back inside the mid. Now we go again with this kid jumping inside there, but IC this time has the hypercharge button active. Goes here, burns up 1 onto 2. CC is going to be the next one to fall here. The Fanstorm comes in there, but they just shrug it off. They're not too concerned about this, but once again, aggression back from the kid. Comes in there, gets 1 kill, Zen46 cleans up a second. Doesn't even get the last puddle though from the hypercharge. And Team Aqua now counting up to 100.
I'm taking note. All you need is a hypercharge and you can get back into the game, even against such an oppressive comp here. But in the end, it's not going to be enough. Team Aqua takes it 100 to 50%. A very dominant set, or a very dominant game here from the side of the underdogs. The favorites, definitely Rival Esports, don't even claim 50% in this one, Spoo.
Oh man, I just wish that the players were a little bit more animated here. I mean, yeah, our fellow 2 dolls here just chilling there for the time being. The player sitting off to the right, by the way, we did get to see a little bit of that, but he's not celebrating just yet because there's only 1 game that just happened, and IC's gonna be the first one to fall here. They managed to trade out with the Hank though, and that's gonna mistime the aggression there. Rival Esports this time, they weather the storm. The early game goes completely in their favor.
This time around, Rival claims mid immediately. Not that much pressure from Team Aqua. Now they're the ones that need to try to get back into the game. Already have fed Finks his first super here. CC is trying to get into mid here from the left-hand side. Fairly low, but survives it thanks to a very nice super. And with that, all members of Team Aqua still stand. Kit on 30 HP, but they can slowly and steadily claim back those percentages.
Big hypercharge there from the kid. He even pops a second one there. A little bit overzealous. Kind of didn't really do the math on how much damage was going to output, but amazing double kill there nonetheless. That's huge tempo swing that's going to be going in their favor. Now Zen46 wants to do a similar thing here, but he's not going to be able to do so. It's the kid that's still doing majority of the work here. Team Aqua now are back inside the lead. They've got 70% and just full dominion over the center. IC though, he's got a hypercharge ready. He's gonna pop it here, tries to get some of that value across here, but no real big target to just chasing after. Goes for Zen46, but it's a full commitment kind of a play. It's gonna be taken down by the kid once again. It's Cherry, the last man left standing, but he's all by himself.
With Rival on the one hand, they're currently sitting in 5th position in all of East Asia. On the other side, Team Aqua, one of the first showings here in a competitive setting. And they're making it so close, 90%, only 9 more for the taking for Rival. Last push here from Team Aqua, they actually get the takedowns, but it's still going to be a small lead for Rival. In the end, turning things around 6% before the end, Team Aqua takes a set.
Oh man, this is kind of why you gotta ban Kit. I mean, this is rough from Rival Esports. They're going this Bali selection as sort of a answer that to the Kit. Yes, there's no wall break there from Team Aqua, but that's not really the problem when you're playing up against Kit. I mean, he didn't even jump on his teammates once this entire game, and it was that oppressive. Yeah, I understand why in the BSC Kit's got the highest ban percentage at the moment.
At least in East Asia, the metas are different in every single region, which is something I find super interesting. We had many different picks in North America. Reddy was talking about it already coming into the show today. Then here in East Asia, and now even today we see a slight shift in the meta. Crow being banned out as first just to pick up a tank themselves. That's something we usually see from NA, for example, not from East Asia.
Yep, and I'm gonna say the same thing as if it was an NA comp and it's an East Asia comp. It's a bad idea. I don't know why Kit wasn't banned here or selected first pick, and I don't know why that the first pick from Rival Esports wasn't an immediate check to the Kit. I mean, if you were telling me that you first picked, for example, Cordelius to sort of block out that Kit pick later on and dissuade it, I would have been a bit more sympathetic to your cause. But Mameshi, you gotta brush up the draft real quick. Let's see if we got some replays in. Yes, we do. Producer ready in the house here. Some of the best, finest plays and the final moments from there. You can see Team Aqua, it's just such a massive lead in that game number 1. And here in that second part here, this Kit just getting so much pressure here. I think this is just really the style of their gameplay.
That was a huge moment here for Team Aqua in game number 2. Rival actually had the better start, and in the end, they claim it back with a Kit on 30 HP. The Hank was on like 1000 HP. They all were fairly low. But yeah, in the end, maybe Rival should have picked up something that targets those tanks a little bit better than a Barley and a Finks. Now heading into our map number 2, Sneaky Fields, a map where once again you can pick up some tanks, but many of those are banned out. Sandy, Ash and Bull from the side of Rival, and we also have the stats from the previous set. Thank you so much. Kit actually with the most kills here on the side of Team Aqua. Do like to see that. Once again, a huge key moment where they all just stayed alive there in game 2. Game 2 a lot closer and a better showing from Rival overall.
Yep. I guess Producer Ready really wants us to see the stats there to show off the fact that this Kit was super duper strong. Yeah, he's still in the call with us, by the way, so anything you guys are saying in chat or anything that we're saying, he can absolutely hear us. In fact, he could even say hi here if he wanted to, but out of respect for the fact— oh god, he's still here. Out of respect, he's just keeping quiet for the moment. That's been the jurisdiction. Anyways, back to the draft here. Rival Esports, once again, they've had the supposed misfortune of being the first pick. They've let Kit go through again, and looking at the bans, I have to say though, Sunny, I think this is intentional. I don't know if it'll work though.
We'll see if yeah, that was a wise pick in the end. Once again, we have Kit and Hank on the side of Team Aqua. Frank is going to be picked up on the other side. I did mention how I want to see something from Rival to either open up the map to account for those tanks or to go something that directly counters tanks. Now they at least have the Frank to open up the map here. Bonnie's going to be their last pick. A good comp from the side of Rival. Once again, a triple tank comp from Team Aqua. I think we see a trend in that team, Spoo. They seem to really like those hefty, tanky brawlers. Very similar comp to what they showed us in set 1.
You could tell me that you could flip the teams and tell me that Team Aqua is a Rival Esports comp, because Rival is the one that has the reputation for drafting really ridiculous triple tank, triple aggro comps in East Asia. It's what I nicknamed the Mameshi special, but with this Kit, it becomes a little bit more reasonable. In this matchup though, I think this is going to be slightly more difficult, but Sneaky Fields is a map that there's a lot of options. They don't have to necessarily just play the matchup. They could also play for the objectives here. They have so much more mobility, and yeah, they're gonna be losing the early game here with Terry. I don't know, that's Mameshi, I think. Well, that name is long as hell. Mameshi there, beautiful jump from him, found the connection, and that's the first goal for Rival Esports.
Very quick goal here, 10 seconds into the game. Rival already 1-0 up now. Terry once again goes up, second goal, and within just 26 seconds, this match is done. Rival Esports quickly tries to claim another set and even out the score.
Oh man, Terry doesn't even look pleased with himself here. Kind of thinking, how does this actually work? I mean, this comp here from Rival Esports. I can kind of see the logic here. So it's pretty much triple stuns that they've pretty much drafted out here as the counter there to the kit. I love to see it there. Now I see, as you mentioned, getting that crucial wall break across. All these breaks are just long-term value that they're going to be getting because they, after all, are the team with the much bigger ranged advantage.
They can open up the map immediately. Did so. IC doing a phenomenal job with that break. And Team Aqua now like a fish out in the open. Can't really do too much here. Map's gonna get broken up further. Stun onto Zen. 2v2 now. But Rival Esports is looking a lot healthier than Team Aqua. Can probably just walk this one in here. Get 2 more takedowns. Team wipe. And Rival Esports in the lead again. 1-0 up.
Hypercharge there from the kit though, going on to 1. Gonna be able to dodge out IC stun there, penetrating the noise cancelling there actually from him. And now a third stun from him. This is the Bobby BS special that we're gonna be looking at from the kit. Now trying to find the walk-in all by himself. This kit, this cat ain't a cat. This is the lioness or a tiger we're looking at.
Kit once again doing a lot of work. Already gets so in hot zone and he does score in the end. It's a 2-1. Team Aqua 1 game away to claiming their second set in a row against Rival. That would be writing history and rewriting our script for today. Once again, we have Rival and Reject in this group. It seemed like we already know who will move into the playoffs, who will make it out of this group, but both BB and Team Aqua are showing up big time today.
Oh my word, it's already going to be 1 goal there going over to Team Aqua. Looks like it was off the backs of a huge 2-man play there. As soon as he loaded in, 2 brawlers were already dead. And it's off the backs of that kid. He's got a hypercharge ready. Oh, that's so fast. Now jumping straight onto the Bonnie. So not going to be able to get this kill all by himself though. The support there from IC was able to hold back the worst of Team Aqua. So Rivals stay alive for the time being.
CC trying to go ham here, does find a takedown. Terry falls. Only Sperry is left standing. Hank and Primo are gonna fight it. Take it out now. And once again, a good push here from Team Aqua. They already are 1-0 in the lead here. They can just wait it out. Another 1 minute 40 and win this set. Be 2-0 up against Rival. That would already be a huge success. We have a triple hypercharge now available though for Team Blue.
Yeah, Rival Esports are starting to encroach there onto Team Aqua there. Unfortunately, they did get their ball cornered there. Zen40 is going to eat a nasty stun there from IC. Wanted to spam out the super to stay alive there, but couldn't get it off in time here. We see Cardboard Box comes out there from the kid. I'm sure Team... Rival Esports, they know exactly where he is. We see a big stun out there. 2-man there from IC. Going to be taking down 2 brawlers. It's going to be Kid against the world here to try and stop this massive push there coming from Rival Esports. He's not going to waste the hypercharge here. He likes to save it for that 3rd ball of the game.
Rivals for now are able to even out to score. 1-1 now. 1 minute left on the clock. Everything's open. Bonnie's gonna jump forward, try to get a takedown there. And in the meantime, once again, the kid strikes 2-1. 2-0 for Team Aqua in sets now against Rival Esports. A huge success. What a crazy match we're watching here already. Spoo, sorry. Spoo and Ready. He's in the call as well.
I'm
That's okay.
I mean, frozen for the moment, but I'm still here, guys. That's a wonderful expression that I have frozen there at the moment, but it's really just completely playing off the fact that I think the kid broke my camera, guys. The kid broke my camera. It was just too much. 4 goals for this kid. Look at the objective damage. He's got the most damage of the team, most kills, and all the goals. This man was single-handedly just playing for his entire team.
Kit did not only break your camera, he also broke the defense of Rival Esports very effectively again and again. In that last moment, game number 3, we also remember Bonnie jumps ahead, and with that leaves her 2 teammates behind. Couldn't really do too much to defend that Kit. Kit just snacks away the ball, whereas his 2 teammates were busy defending the Bonnie. He just saw the openings when nobody else saw them. Once again, the most kills as well. So I would ban Kit against Team Aqua, and they actually do. I'm super happy to see that. Yeah, Team Aqua seems to have a player that is just very adept in playing kits. Brock and Jean are also going to be banned out from the side of Rival Esports. Jean double banned, Cordelis and Charlie banned from Team Aqua. I assume Rival has the first pick here yet again, and we'll see what they show us here on Bell's Rock. I'm usually quite good in predicting who has first pick just looking at the bans, but today the teams just ban out the best brawlers when they have first pick, it seems. Charlie, Cordelius, both very, very good in countering tanks. Both of them banned out by Team Aqua. They pick up Angelo, so they don't even play a tank in this one. They were probably just hoping for the kit again. But yeah, now they have a problem against Bonnie and Ollie. Ruffs is going to be the pick here, probably played with field promotion just to make sure everybody's tanky coming towards the end of the match. When smoke comes in, field promotion makes sure that his two teammates, Ruff's teammates, will be very, very tanky in the end. And now we're just waiting for last pick for Team Aqua, then Rival. Rival might be picking something that can heal the other two. Team Aqua final will find a tank they like to play. Once Kit is banned out, Daryl is gonna come in. And now let's look at what Rival will actually pick up last year. Could be a Jaeyoung, for example, just to support the other two tanks. Something to address the Daryl. Maybe they're also going to go in with something with a bit more range here. B might be an option, Bell as well. We also did see Barry in the past, for example, same function here, just to make sure that two others are covered and healed up. It's not going to be a healer, still something with a bit more range than the other two. Grum gonna round off their comp. And now just looking at those two comps, maybe people in chat will also have a say in that. Which comp would you choose if this was your ranked match? Personally, honestly, once again, I'm siding with Team Aqua's comp. Yes, they will struggle a tad bit once Bonnie has ult, once Ollie will come in. That will be a free kill for either of them, as long as Daryl isn't staying with Angelo and Ruffs to protect them. But they have something for the start of the game with the Angelo range. And again, in the end, both the Angelo and Daryl are going to be super, super tanky. For now, it's just the Daryl that's going to profit from that Ruffs star power spoo.
Okay, we're back, and what do I see here? Did you just say that there was a rough star power? Did you say there was a rough in Bell's Rock? Did I hear that right? Yep, I heard it right. Okay, instead we've got a Grom here. So this is a hard punish that's coming here from the side of Rival Esports. I do believe that they have a pretty decent idea here, but nice rolls there from CC. Gonna be going in onto IC, but beautiful jump from him to survive that interaction. Now it's on a timer. CC's already sort of managed to regain his role, so they still got that option to go aggressive anytime that they want. But the longer that this game goes on, the harder it's going to become to dodge those Grom bombs.
Grom putting up a lot of pressure. Slowly and steadily, Rival will claim over mid control here. Team Aqua also broken up now. Nobody will get promoted anymore here from the rough star power. CC sees an opening, goes in, but immediately gets hypnotized by the Ollie. A bit too quick here on the trigger. And Rival takes this first round in the end. Now, Spoo, same question for you as for chat earlier. If this was your ranks match or competitive match, which would be your comp?
I've got to go with Rival Esports because, frankly speaking, on Team Aqua, I can't play any of those three brawlers. So at least on Rival Esports, I can play the Bonnie, and I'm pretty confident that this is the comp that I would understand how it works. Not saying that Team Aqua don't have a good comp here, but this Russ pick is the awkward one for me. I don't really understand the logic behind it. I think it's just sort of a weak link in the comp. I love the Daryl selection, though. So it's got to be one of those, awkward ones where when you look at Team Aqua's comp, you're just like, there's just that one odd one out brawler that kind of really just didn't fit the rest of the puzzle.
If you look at the bans, I think they were really just hoping to get the kit once more. They already won 2 sets with it, and we saw Kai popping off on that brawler. It's now also interesting to see that he is on the long-range brawler here. He's on Angelo, where CC takes over the tank here. Once again, Rival playing all together. Field promotion not really coming in handy as long as the Ruffs is playing alone. 2v3 now. Can Team Aqua claim this back, or is this game going towards Rival Esports? And they can. Team Aqua takes the round in a very, very tight last few seconds, Spoo.
I feel like I blinked and then I missed it, but I'm sure that a hypercharged Daryl was of utmost importance there, and a Ruffs was utmost. I'm just gonna keep flaming the fact that I don't understand the Ruffs pick, but I'm sure that Zen46 here had an idea here. It feels like a poor man's Rico, honestly speaking. I mean, it's playing literally like a Rico, just, you know, a lot worse, and it's not even using the wall break. It's, as you mentioned, it's using field promotion here, so it just feels like a bit of an awkward one. I mean, throughout all these health that it's giving over to this Daryl, I mean, it barely gives half a shot worth of health, which isn't really much here, if I'm gonna be honest.
Let's see if Ross is gonna pay off in the end. So far, Zen didn't really, wasn't really able to do too much. Again, field promotion also very good on bounty. Not really a knockout where we have resets every couple of seconds or minutes, maybe. CC once again with the super available hypercharge ready on that rocks on the right hand side, but it's looking a bit better on the side of Rival. They have a super important hypercharge on Bonnie. Once the smoke's coming in here, and it is at the moment, Bonnie's going to be able to stun not only 1 but maybe 2 players. Stuns to Daryl. 3 Rivals players. I see 2 left. 1 last standing from the side of Team Aqua, and Rival takes this round. Cut off a little at the end there, but I'm very, very sure they took it, Spoo.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert, Rival Esports definitely won that one. There's absolutely no way I see a comeback from Angelo jumping headfirst into 2 players there. It's a beautiful sort of draft here coming out here from the side of Rival Esports. I'm glad they're not immediately getting 3-0'd. They are now 1 game up inside this set number 3, and knockout is I always say that knockout as the slowest sort of game mode in Brawl is a really good turning point when you are behind. And so now you see Rival Esports, they're really punishing this Zen46 pick here. The Ruffs is going to be going down immediately there. Great punish from them. Angelo going to be jumping in there, popping a strange super, that 2-man poison onto him. It's going to set out one of the craziest Angelo plays I've ever seen, Sonny.
Kai proves once again to be the star player on his roster, the MVP so far at least. Pop off twice with the kit, now also on the Angelo. Team Aqua are 1 set away from winning against Rival Esports today. Rival, the team that made it into the semi-finals in the August monthly finals. Team Aqua on the other side, one of their first showings in a competitive setting, and now they're popping off with a comp that we might not quite understand, Spoo, but it seems to work out for them, so that's what counts.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, usually you play Angelo, you're running Master Fletcher, you're trying to just get through those walls there with a gadget, but instead he's using that jump aggressively. He recognizes the fact that there's no sort of major burst damage from the side of Rival Esports. I mean, you can't count really Grom there because the shots are just too hard to land up close. And so this is one of those rare interactions where Angelo can actually be played aggressively, you know, jump in there, get the poison done from the super. We see a hypercharge though, just gonna immediately delete Zen46 in the back, but Rival can't rest easy just yet because this Angelo is still at large here. Hypercharge goes out from him. He's going to be playing hyper aggressively here, 2 versus 3, and it's actually likely somehow. Can this Angelo actually do this? Jumps inside the back there. It's isolated a 1 versus 1 up against the Grom there now. But beautiful dodges once again. I don't believe it. I can't keep getting away with this.
That is not possible. Team Aqua claims the game. They have match point against Rival Esports. And what a photo finish there again. Angelo very, very low there. But with 1 more hit, Grom goes down and Team Aqua takes the game. So close to taking the set as well. Again, a comp that we didn't really like, Spoo, coming into this. Ross, the one that is a little bit of the odd man out, but Angelo and Daryl doing so much work here that it doesn't really matter. And they do get a little tankiness from the Ruffs whenever he stands close to them, thanks to field promotion as well. Ruffs in the end not really there to account for the Bonnie or the Ollie. Nothing to stand in the way of those 2 tanks on the other side, but CC single-handedly does more work on his tank on the side of Team Aqua.
I hate that it works. I hate that it works, and I hate that my brain cannot handle the fact that it works. I mean, this Angelo was the same player that played the kit previously, and it was carrying so hard on it. And you know, I would never think that Angelo is a brawler that in those clutch situations in overtime, you can miss one arrow, and then you think it's over. But up against a Grom, there's so much ability to outplay, and you can tell the rival are scared. They're in the corner now. You see the radio check popped out there from the Grom. It's really not really landing the market. They managed to sort of isolate and take down the Angelo first, though. And that might just be the math for Rival to bring a comeback.
Beautiful play there from the Rival in the end. They're still here to fight. They're no team to become a little bit too shaky after such a huge showing from Team Aqua. Immediate kill here. Ross goes down 2v3 now. Team Aqua might be losing this set after all, but it's not over just yet. We do have a hypercharge available from the Grom. He's going in very aggressively to try to chip down that Daryl so that he never really can go in. Try to separate the Angela as well, but a little bit of a miss super there from Terry. Kai will not even take any damage here. CC going in with a hypercharge. Doesn't really hit the target. In the end, he does find Terry though. 2v2 now. Team Aqua even out the player count here.
Huge ground bomb there from Ameshi to end there with that hypercharge, but it looked scary, honestly, for Rival Esports. I could tell that they were nervous. I mean, losing it here would be just such an embarrassment. I'm just gonna call it how I see it. I mean, this should not be happening up against Team Aqua. I want to remind you guys that the last time we saw Team Aqua play was maybe 4 months ago, and since then they've never really qualified for the RCL. They managed to have enough points just to barely make the cutoff for playoffs, and here they're wiping the floor with Rival Esports.
You can really say that this set could have also very well went the way of Team Aqua. It was super close. And then looking at set 1 and 2, it wasn't as close, and Team Aqua actually won it. They 2-0'd immediately in Hot Zone. Then Brawl Ball, at least Rival Esports took a game there. Now we're looking at the highlights from the previous match. D'Angelo there, we remember in his 1v1 against Grom, he almost went down, but in the end, he claimed the win for his team. Once again, with the most kills, Kai really showing off today as the MVP of Team Aqua.
Oh yeah, we're gonna call him Kai now because we can't read that Japanese. I mean, I can, but like, there's really no point here. But my goodness, Team Aqua, they've been pressed. Yeah, I mean, you try reading Momeshi's name. It's got Korean, it's got Japanese, it's got Mandarin in it. I mean, come on.
Maybe it's just Momeshi in all languages, you know?
It's not. Yeah, I can tell it's not. But anyways, now subtle flexing from me. Huge credit to, as you said, Kai. And I hope to see him in the BSC next year for sure, because they've definitely shown us some very high level capability. And if this team continues to thrive here, I'm sure that they will make a debut one day there. Now headed over to Hard Rock Mine though. I am once again pleased to report that Rival Esports have learned their lesson. They've banned the kid. That has been the only thing that seems to be stopping Team Aqua from finishing it off. So maybe this time though, I mean, is Cordelia's as big of a threat as Kit?
Well, we're gonna find out soon. Maybe if Kai plays it again. I do feel like leaving Cordelia's open is a risk on any map at the moment. You have 4 brawlers that are almost always banned out or pick up. That's Kaze, Charlie, Cordelius, and Lumi. Lumi would be a brawler that I wouldn't be too surprised to see here again. Terra's going to be the first pick here, probably followed by Gus in mid here. That's a comp that Rival really likes to play. Both of those brawlers have some great drawings and scrims overall, and Terra is also going to address the Cordelius well, thanks to her little helpers from the Shadow Realm. And there indeed is the Gus. Spoo, I still got it. Feels great.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, it's not as if you get to, like, you know, watch all of the BSC back to back and that really hones it, you know, or you got an API looking at all the data. Nah, I'm just playing. I mean, you're a fantastic coach and I'm sure you spotted this a mile away. I mean, I completely agree with it. I mean, this is completely fine from Rival Esports. I think it's a fair solution there to the Cordelias, but I gotta say, Team Aqua, they can still opt to go for pretty aggressive picks here. I like this Jeong selection, and this is definitely definitely a tank that's coming in next here. They're probably going to be looking for something that can constantly cycle it out. They could even go for Shade here, to be honest, if they really want to spice things up and just go hyper aggressive. But that will leave that lane a little bit vulnerable to things like Hank and Jackie here, potentially. So yeah, they're going to go just Hank by themselves, just a little bit cleaner here from the side of Team Aqua.
This one, super interesting one. And yeah, I don't know if I would have went with Hank here. I would have liked the Shade you mentioned, maybe Draco. Hank did have a good showing from them though in Brawl Ball, so they seem to like this brawler a bit better. We could still see a Draco now from the side of Rival Esports, who deals with Hank super well, and they would also have a well-rounded comp here with a tank, good gem carrier, some range, and then also Terra to account for any tankiness from the other side. It's actually not going to be Draco, it's Ash, who also doesn't do too badly into Hank. Now, the one advantage that Team Aqua has with their tank is that they actually have a healer in the back who can make sure that Hank survives on, even in that matchup into Ash. But we do have also Ghost that can hand out shields if Ash would ever need it. So super interesting comp from both sides. I feel like it's very even in terms of who could take this one. No clear draft winner, so that's going to be an interesting one, and we're in for another really exciting set.
Oh yeah, this could be the end of Rival Esports as we know it, but looking at the draft, I think they have a chance, right? I think it's safe to say that this draft isn't entirely losing there from the side of Rival Esports. They've got the tools that they need to bring a comeback here. That Hank matchup in particular is one that you're going to be seeing IC just trying to punish the entire game. As long as they keep playing these musical lanes correctly, I think they've got a pretty good shot. But at the moment though, the early game is going to the side of Team Aqua.
Wow, I'm so impressed with Team Aqua, honestly. I've never seen this team play before, and I'm so happy I get to watch them today absolutely demolish a team like Rival Esports, the clear favorites in this one. Then taking IC into the shadow realm, can't quite finish him off here on the right hand side, but on the left side we do see Hank take down Terry. Of course Hank wins his lane against Terra, why not?
Oh yeah. And now IC's just gonna flatten out Zen 46, but they are still down 7 gems to 1 here. It's a chasm, right? We gotta call it how we see it. We see a hypercharge super there popped up by IC. It's gonna be deleted there by CC though, so it's gonna be able to buy some time here. Terry is duking it out with Zen 46 inside the Shadow Realm. He's actually winning for the moment here, so Zen 46 has got to make a run for it. He's gonna fall down there to Mameshi there in the mid. At the very least, we see some signs of life there from Rival Esports. They've taken back full mid control, and IC even has a pretty decent spot here inside the back lines.
94 gems, still a very good lead here for the red roster. CC going down the right hand side. Finally they get rid of the Ash that was putting up pressure against the red team for the longest time now. Maybe they can push back into mid now and pick up that last gem they need to start the countdown. And on the other side, Rival is slowly getting closer in gem count. No, they get rid of the gem carrier as well. Kai's gonna fall 16 gems on the name of Rival Esports, and CC is the last man standing, the last hope for Team Aqua to claim back those gems.
He's not in position to stop it though, and neither are the rest of them. KY has been just doing an absolute great job throughout the set, but it's not gonna be enough to pull a miracle finish here. Rival Esports, they're gonna run away with this game number 1, but I've gotta say it, Sonny, it was so shaky. It was so shaky throughout the entirety of the early to the mid game. It looked like they really had to, you know, sit on their gaming chairs and just lock in a little bit harder. Terry's looking laser focused here, and I hope that they keep this up and we go to a set number 5.
He better is focused, he's better locked in against Team Aqua that once again had the better match. Looking at the full length of it, we had Team Aqua in control for most of it. Rival just maybe even got a little lucky. Kai overextending a tad bit, and with that they claimed the gems back, but Team Aqua was just 1 gem away from the countdown for the longest time. Terry once again struggles against his matchup into Hank, falls even though he had the super and some help from mid. In the end, they're both going to be wiped out with a 2v1 now again. IC is the key here for Rival Esports, the one man that makes sure that Rival even has some say in this match.
Oh yeah. This is a comeback story for them once again. They've been playing behind the majority of that first game, and in this second game as well. I think that's a similar plan here. IC almost gets the run down there onto KY here. We see double robotic rats even coming down there from IC, which has been playing so well. Now they've got a complete spawn trap inside the mix here. Terry's even got the hypercharge super to pop out at any time, but he's got to look for Zen46. He is spotted there though, almost gets the 3-tap onto him, but it's unfortunately just going to go down there. But KY though is going to be allowed back inside the mid, but over aggressive there into IC and just going to be feeding out all the gems instead. All that work done by that Cordelius is just completely thrown away.
10 seconds left on the clock now. CC with a hypercharge available, but Terry has one as well. Double kill from Terry, and that seals the deal here for Rival. They take another set, but once again, honestly, if IC wasn't there, Rival Esports would have lost that 2 minutes ago already. IC getting the takedown onto the gem carrier twice here. He was the only one that was really making some problems here for Team Aqua. They controlled the Gus. They immediately took down Terra at the start. IC was the only one to really, he was the game changer in this one.
And that brings us to a set number 5. Very, very pleased to see that happen. You know, it's something that you know we're always happy to see. You know, even though it makes my life a little bit more challenging when it comes to permutating brackets. But I gotta say it, right? As a caster, I love it. As a producer, it's for a little bit more challenging. But nonetheless, the Rival Esports, I'm happy that they're still here. And yeah, looking at Ket, monstrous KD. I mean, there's one number that stands out a little bit more than the others.
Yes, I mean, looking at the KD here, we have a clear winner. IC will take the MVP in this one. And yeah, once again, both the Gus and the Terra didn't really pull their weight, I feel, in this one. Jae Young got the better out of Gus more often than not. Cordelius also took care of Terra. Hank did a good job as well, even winning against the tank counter in this one more often than not himself. And then I see with all the pressure in the world, making sure Rival, even though they can't pick up many gems in mid, in the end take the takedown thanks to the gems that Jae Young has picked up throughout the game. So yeah, very good. Very well played here from Rival Esports. In the end, they even out the score, but I feel like Team Aqua's sets have been more convincing, honestly.
Yeah, it just looks a little bit like this game in particular, that IC was just allowed just way too much value here. I think this was the best last pick that they could have gone for, and they really managed to take full advantage of it. That's the reason why Team Aqua sort of fell apart here at the seams. But you're right, when they win, they really win pretty high. But when they lose, it just looks close. So I have to suspect that Rival have a reason that they're a little bit weaker today.
Maybe they just didn't prepare as much for this match, who knows? Maybe they were thinking against Team Aqua we would have an easy match, a quick 3-0, and then head on to bigger opponents. But Team Aqua definitely proves today that they are one of the bigger opponents in this one. They have been showing us consistent, decent draft and super good gameplay as well. And talking about drafts, we're heading into the last one. Whoever takes this one is going to be the winner of this match. It's 2-2 so far, so we have a potential double match point.
It's going to be on Kaboom Canyon, which is a map that I would say you can allow Kit to go through, but there's a lot of traps here inside the draft that you have to be a little bit concerned about. Kit has been indeed left open. In terms of bans, we see double chuck bans respected by both teams here. This is sort of I think it's a 50-50, honestly. Sometimes you can just let it through here and just go all aggro and it pays off, but sometimes it is just way too much to deal with. So neither team want to deal with that. Team Aqua lead out with the Bonnie first pick, and this is pretty much just what I would have gone for in my games, and it's the only thing that I ever play now in Heist.
Bonnie is going to be the perfect answer to a draft that just started. It's always going to be a decent first pick, especially on a map like Kaboom Canyon. Now, Rival, let's see if they're going to go with something a bit more rangy. We do see an Angelo sometimes on a map like this one with Chuck and Miko bans. We also don't really have many tanks open that you usually see on a map like this one. Maybe a Bull, maybe a Daryl. Kaze is also going to be on my list here. As I mentioned, the 4 brawlers you always have to think of are going to be Charlie, Cordelius, Kaze, and Lumi at the moment. And of those, 2 are left open. Cordelius could also still come in later if one of those 2 teams decides to just defend. Now, Rival could double down here, double aggression, or again, could go with something to defend. Cordelius would be my first pick here. Ember.
Well, unfortunately, it is East Asia, and I gotta explain this a little bit. So, in Rival Esports, they have arguably, I would say, one of Terry's best picks in the entire world is Amber. He loves this brawler inside and out, and I'm telling you, she understands every single little nitty gritty about how to really pilot this brawler to just absolute perfection. And I think on Kaboom Canyon, they're relying on that stalwart, like, 100% level of gameplay from the Amber to be able to just wane off and be the key defender for the team. The Kaze, though, on the other hand, I think that's just the designated sort of diver on the team here. They could have gone for Melody if they wanted to. They could have gone for even a Lily, but instead that's going to go over to the side of Team Aqua, who snatches up the Melody as their designated attacker for this draft.
I was also thinking maybe we see a Melody here, as Rival does like to play comps like Bonnie, Ember, and Melody. Now, two of those brawlers go towards the way of Team Aqua. They probably also have watched a couple of scrims of them and know which brawlers they like to play. Now, they're also going to go with one last pick to control, to defend, and to make sure they can stand in mid for as long as possible. So Ember versus Terra gonna be the ones to defend here, and then I assume we have double aggression on both sides now. Rival with the last pick as well. In that direct matchup, though, Ember versus Terra, Ember's gonna come out on top. At least that's what my intuition tells me, Spoo. I kind of fear for Aqua here.
Yeah, I think this is a very control-centric draft here from the side of Rival Esports. It's very clear with this B and this Amber what their plan is going to be. Just hunker down inside the mid once they've got control of it, and just allow the Kaze to go in and repeatedly just do chip damage over to the safe. They do have some vulnerability in the draft, though. I think the up against the Melody dives, positioning is going to be really, really important. Like, they can't have both brawlers basically on the same side at any given time, and allow that Melody to just go through and do all that damage. But I agree with you. I prefer the Rival Esports comp here. I think it just makes a lot more sense to me.
We'll see how things pan out here in the end. Team Aqua is up 2-0 already. They had match point even against Rival in that third set, and now we're all the way in set number 5. So Rival Esports came back big time. Now, with a pretty good draft as well, they have double defense in the end, with the B striking down that Terra immediately, already with some save damage. Rival with a really good start.
Great start there from Rival. This is exactly what their comp was designed to do there, and I think they got a bit lucky there with the matchups as well. Now we see the B going 1 versus 1 up against that Melody. They couldn't really get the big stinger off in time. I thought for sure I could have kept that auto aim in there, but unfortunate sort of play there from him. And I see that it's going to be making a little bit of an uncharacteristic mistake there, diving straight into those shots from the Tara. It's going to be blown up here. Now CC finally going to be cleaned up in the backlines, but his Team Aqua that have regained full control of the mid.
Unfortunate for Rival, they have nothing to open up the map, so as Bonnie's sitting in that bottom right-hand side corner, they need to deposit 2 of their brawler to make sure that they can get her out of that corner again. Also, with a good kill onto the Melody. For now, they have claimed back mid control, but Team Aqua with just one push immediately makes sure it's even out again. 73 to 72% for the moment. Rival Esports with mid control and a bit more damage onto save, now taking over the lead again.
Back in control in the mid. Terry now going to be rotating over to that right lane. Big Stinger now connecting there from the B. A nice slow as well to boot. We see Icy there on that left side. Gets the Fan Storm onto the safe to do a little bit of chip damage. Should be able to bring this save down to that halfway mark. KY, though, is trying to make some moves of his own. Not going to get the connection on the safe, though. Gets one trade instead. And it's all hands on deck for Team Aqua to defend this push from Icy.
For the moment, Team Aqua, despite having 2 aggressive brawlers, mostly defending, now 30 seconds before the end, we want to see one last push from Team Aqua, and we'll see if they can even out the score here. DC didn't really see Icy coming. He's on 45 HP, will fall there. On the other side, we have the Melody finally doing some more save damage, but with only 10 seconds left on the clock, is it going to be enough for Team Aqua to strike and do some damage? Terra tries her best. Melody falls. Bonnie coming out of spawn, but it's not going to be enough time. Rival takes this game and has match point for the first time in this match.
Excellent performance there from Rival Esports, and this would be indeed a reverse sweeperino coming in here from Rival Esports, and this is expected. But I gotta say, they lost 2 sets because they let the kitty cat through, and they got completely punished for it. And ever since, they've managed to sort of make a comeback here, and I think this is starting to look a little bit more like regularly scheduled programming from the side of Rival Esports.
But even without kits, Team Aqua still won some games, so they probably don't need that brawler to win it. They always make it close, but can't quite close it out in the end. Kai's gonna be the one I have my eyes on here. He was the one to absolutely demolish Rival on that kit, and also Angelo pick on Bell's Rock. He's gonna try and go forward on the left-hand side. Falls, unfortunately, without even putting a single scratch on that save of Rival.
Sandstorm's committed there from IC, takes back control of the mid. Zen46 though, he does have the gravity online. He's going to be able to pull IC in at the maximum range. Kai down the left lane also won it out. And now there's a big push here coming in from Team Aqua. They should be able to shred open this safe very shortly. Firstly of shielding. It's still going to be online though from Rival. So they managed to sort of limit the damage that they took from this push.
Kai not usually able to stay alive here whenever he's paired up against the Kaze. Now decides to go over the right hand side. Maybe B is a bit of a better matchup. Does have hypercharge. Pop tries to do some damage, but immediately gets defended here by Terry and Meshi on that save. We now have an even scoreboard once again. Once again, we're 1 minute away from the finish of this one, and we have double hypercharge available from Team Aqua. Maybe, Spoo, we're gonna see a double match point soon.
It could be a close one here. They've Terran through that second layer of shielding. A nice push between KY and INCC here. Hypercharge was committed there from Zen46 on that right lane onto Terry, but couldn't get the takedown. So as soon as Rival Esports start to show sort of signs of weakness, they immediately blast back here, and they're even going to be taking this bit of a damage lead here. And with Mameshi continuing to control the center here on this B, should be able to get this kill there on the Melody. No, guys should be feeding out the super over to him, and this should be a falling play from him. They're barely getting that kill there, and IC now dives over onto CC, goes past him and goes straight for that safe.
It's not a big damage lead, only 6%. Terry's gonna make it even bigger now, putting some more damage into save, and Team Aqua once again just defending when they want the two aggressive rulers on the opponent's save. 9 seconds left, and this is going to be Rival Esports claiming the victory over this game, this set, and the match. They reverse swept their opponents. Team Aqua had a super good showing today with a quick 2-0, even claiming a match point against none other than Rival. They can already say today was a success, but unfortunately, it's not going to be a win for them.
Amazing performance there from Rival Esports. And from Team Aqua as well. I gotta give them credit. I mean, they're looking, you know, our plushies here are looking a little bit defeated. I think the one on the right kind of fell down a little bit after the loss there. I'm not too sure myself, but I have to say, I give really huge props there for Team Aqua. I expected this match to really be a pretty one-sided affair there, but instead, it pushed Rival Esports to the absolute limit, forced them to, you know, even be on match point, I believe, in that set number 3. And then the rest of it was pretty close there, but yeah. So, producer ready is gonna be zooming into this cam a little bit closer, and don't worry, guys, you'll be able to see more of Team Aqua in the lower bracket very shortly here. In the meantime, though, yeah, that's the next matchup that I believe we're gonna be seeing here. But some stats here to, you know, bide the time while we set that one up. And okay, Bomeshi on the B though, big damage, major props to him for having the best KD, but IC is the, you know, obvious sort of safe damage MVP here for the side of Rival Esports.
But on the safe damage, he also has the most damage across the board, especially fighting against Kai. Every single time Melody tried to push up, it was Kaze taking him out more often than not. And on the side of Team Aqua, Kai also takes the MVP one more time. Not with the most save damage, that was CC, but he did the most kills. Good job on the Melody one more time. And I want to see someone sign this guy, honestly. What he showed us today on the kit, Angelo, and now also on the Melody, absolutely phenomenal performance from the whole team of Team Aqua. They can be proud of themselves, and I wouldn't be too surprised if they won their lower bracket match, no matter who's it gonna be.
Could be an interesting one to watch for sure. Team Aqua up against BB. Both of these teams, I think they've shown great promise today. And even though it was expected that they would fall to the lower bracket, now it's the time where it's time for us to look smart, right? I mean, so I'm going to ask the question to both you and to Reddy. So based on the performance that you guys have seen today, I mean, look at this reverse sweep. It's beautiful, like an absolute reverse sweep from them. But based on this performance of these two lower bracket teams, which we're going to be watching very, very soon, before I leave you guys to it, what are your predictions? Like, which team do you think showed off a little bit more?
I don't think it was Rival. I'm just going to say that right now. I think they came into this one believing that they already had what it would take to go ahead and make it forward. Of course, they did in a 3-set series, but I was really impressed by what Team Aqua had to show. I was thoroughly surprised by them. I'm not the only one in that camp. Sonny, I know that you were also like pretty surprised by the performance that they brought today, and that it took a reverse sweep from Rival to end up taking them down.
That was indeed super close. Are we talking about the two lower bracket teams now, Spoo, or did I misunderstood your question?
Up to you, up to you. There's no misunderstandings. Yes, lower bracket, let's go.
Yes, because yeah, I feel like BB probably had the tougher opponent. As said, Reject is the champion of the monthly final in East Asia, the current title holder, and Rival did lose to Reject in a 3-2 in the monthly finals. That being said, Team Aqua has to be the favorite coming into the lower bracket here, despite having, again, maybe the easier opponent in Rival over Reject. What I've seen from them just now was super strong. BB did well against Reject, but the draft and overall, mechanical skills, I feel like Team Aqua is still a little bit ahead.
This is very true. I would definitely rank them over BB, at least in this lower bracket round 1 match, which we're going to be getting to shortly. In the upper bracket final, that's where Reject and Rival Esports await us. Whoever wins between those two will go on to qualify. In lower bracket final, the loser of that upper bracket final will go down there and play the eventual winner of either BB or Team Aqua to determine our second team to head on to the final stages of the playoffs. That will be happening on Monday. That'll be day number 3. So only 3 more matches. We've gotten a couple of matches already out of the way today. So what are you thinking, Spoo? Who do you take for our upper bracket final? Who do you take for our lower bracket round 1?
Well, I gotta say Reject a little bit stronger there in that upper bracket final, and I can't really say for sure for the lower bracket. I mean, the cop-out answer here would be say that I think Rival will, inevitably qualify from that lower bracket once again. But I think Team Aqua, they've shown great promise, and they've got a really good chance of making an upset happen here. But I do fully expect Reject to slaughter Rival Esports after that abysmal first match performance here. Now, I must say, so a little bit of a tidbit of information here. Looks like our dear friend Mameshi is having a little bit of a medical issue, and he's I think he's going to be subbing out. So he was playing that entire series, actually having a little bit of nausea and some issues there. I'm going to be that's why, I mean, I'm typing a lot and kind of checking in on and making sure everything's okay. But that's kind of the only reason why I'm going to make it seem like it's super one-sided. And I think Reject will crush them. The substitute they're bringing in is going to be none other than former world champion Ken G. That's going to be stepping up to take Mameshi's place. So we will still be having a pretty strong showing from them, but it will be a different rival than we're used to.
Still 3 very good players individually, maybe not the most team chemistry with a sub last minutes, but I'm sure we're going to see a stronger rival. Reject might still take it, even if Mameshi would have been at his best. Once again, last time those two teams faced off against each other, it was a 3-2 for Reject as well. And then on the lower end, Reddy, since you asked, again, I think Team Aqua will probably make it through their match against BB. And then, in my calculations, going against Rival one more time, maybe this time they can actually close it out in a 3-0. Who knows?
You never really know. I'm waiting with bated breath. I'm not going to jinx anything. I'm not going to cast any predictions just yet. That is reserved for when we come back from a break. We're going to be back after just a few minutes. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be with you in just a few. Welcome back, everyone, to the Rival Challengers League, where we've already gotten rid of our first couple matches of the day, but we haven't gotten rid of any players just yet. That's what we're about to do right now. It's time for the losers semifinals. We're going to wave goodbye to our first team here in the playoffs day number 1. And I think also we're going to wave goodbye to you, Wiggly Speed. We don't really need you for this one, so I think we've gotten it taken care of. Let's start talking about our lower bracket. in just a second. We're not finished with you just yet. Okay. And wait, why are you still there?
You're dragging it out. What a sad goodbye. We're gonna get Spoo back in a minute though, so it's
we dragged it out so long. Team Aqua's won a set, guys.
There we go. Bye, Spoo. We didn't really need you anyway. Hello. I'm in his position now. Sunny, I don't think we've ever, like, in our lives casted together, so this is going to be a fun time.
That's true. We've been working together for a very long time, but we actually never had a match together, even all the way back to Masters Tokyo, Snapdragon Pro Series, whatever that was called. Yeah, we're actually working both with casters, but we just never had a game together. Very unfortunate, but Trev was blessed with your company. I was blessed with Ark's company and many others. So yeah, in the end, I'm very glad to be here now, finally. I did actually cast a B stream together once, I think. But yeah, this is,
you know what? That is very true.
Bigger production and done by yourself, so props to you.
Yeah, and that is part of the struggle. Is there a lot of moving parts? So we're going to be, working through all of that on the day. But for now, I think our players might have gone ahead and gotten in game. So, okay, never mind. Looks like we've reset set number 1. We're going to be moving into Dueling Beetles very, very shortly. And we saw Dueling Beetles already today. You know, RCL has had a bit of a curse to see the same maps on repeat, sometimes even like 3 or 4 times in a row. But it is quite nice, at least, that we'll get to, get a taste of all the different comps that can emerge on these maps.
Dueling Beetles, a map I'm super excited for. Didn't get to cast it yet today, and it's going to be a little bit of a different map compared to the maps I've just seen. BB versus Team Aqua. Don't know if Kitka is going to be having a great showing here, but he's going to be banned out anyway. BB also have figured out that Team Aqua is just unbeatable, even by a team like Rival, as long as Kit is left open, so they're going to have it banned out immediately. And now let's see what they're going to pick up here. Dueling Beetles, a map where you can pick up some throwers. Tanks are going to come in handy. Finks comps are going to have some good showings again. Many options here, as you can see. And yeah, I'm excited for the draft here. Ready.
And we'll be getting it started very soon. We'll get those bans coming in. Let's start talking about them. BB with that Kit Kaze and a Hank banned out. Team Aqua are going to go ahead and... oh, okay. That's a little peculiar. Looks like the set has advanced somehow. We're just going ahead and going to Pinball Dreams. All right.
They play without us watching?
Nope. They were definitely in Dueling Beetles just a moment ago, and now mysteriously they're on Pinball Dreams. But you know what? Fine. We'll roll with the punches. So I think when we came in anyway, set 1 was already complete. So we'll go ahead and move on to Pinball Dreams, which is a map that I really like anyway. So, no, never mind. We are now receiving word that the admin messed up. So, we'll just...
Oh, who's the admin again?
Huh? Not me. Not me. Not me. And
Sorry.
and Spoo's saying sorry. So he says the admin messed up. I wonder if he's referring to himself. Apparently what happened is they started the match, then they reset the match, and then they awarded the win. So we're just going to kind of roll with that. I think we'll be restarting set number 1 and figuring out what to do from there. No, never mind. Okay. We're not resetting set number 1. It's straight ahead into set number 2. Forgive us, folks, but we're going to be going straight into Pinball Dreams.
So they did play the match in full, and Team Aqua actually took it, which is no surprise to me, honestly. Again, Team Aqua just had a super great showing against Rival. BB did win a set against Reject, which is huge. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see a little bit of closer Pinball Dreams now. As you mentioned, a map you like is also the fan favorite, so it makes a lot of sense that we just skip that hot zone. What is that even? We're gonna head straight into Brawl Ball.
Oh man, okay, Pinball Dreams. So some of the things that I love to see her personally, I want to see a Willow. Picked or banned. You know what? Either one would work. And I believe we're seeing a Willow banned out, but it's by the team with first pick, which is a little curious to me because I feel like it's a top priority first pick.
I agree with you, but that's something that we are seeing a lot today already. I already said twice, probably the left-hand side team will have first pick since the right-hand time team banned all of the good brawlers, but so often I wasn't right in the end. We have a Gus once again, we have the Lily, a very aggressive comp from the side of BB, some support also from the Gus through mid. I like what I'm seeing from both sides so far. They definitely both know what's up when it comes down to draft.
Seems to be so. Team Aqua, it's their turn to go ahead and pick up a 4-5. Zen 46 will be the next one up. What do you do into something so standard, into this Gus? I feel like many times you can just run it down. Hank is certainly capable of that task. You'll be able to fire through walls. And something that we saw as far as the interaction for this brawler, it's pretty darn good until you have great survivability. As long as, of course, you're able to cycle out that super, then you should be able to survive any rogue Lily attack. That's provided you're not put in the Shadow Realm when you'll be deprived of your ability to super, and then you're probably out of luck, but at least you've taken a bullet for your teammate. So, Hank emerges. Do we see some support for that Hank? Previously, we actually saw Jae Yong to support it. Barry is going to be the method, which I think is lacking a bit in mobility, but I've actually seen work really, really well here on Pinball Dreams, even like in EU, one of the more competitive regions in Brawl Stars.
Whenever Kit is banned out, Team Aqua is going to go with Hank instead. We saw that pattern a couple of times already. Pretty solid comp here with some support and some range also with the bunny in the back. Now BB, also pretty solid comp so far. Could answer with it with a thrower themselves here. Would like to see a Barley also with some healing capabilities, but a lot of damage output, especially compared to that Berry. We'll see if they're gonna go with a thrower or another aggression. They want to double down here, double tank with Boss and Lily. Boss is gonna have a phenomenal matchup, of course, into the Berry. Potentially even Bonnie, honestly. If Bonnie tries to come in aggressively, the Boss is gonna do well, just stunning her and making sure she can't ever escape from that situation anymore.
Okay, folks, we're about to get started. It's time for a bit of Pinball Dreams between BB and Team Aqua. We're getting into game right now. And so far, the instant aggression from Hyde up the left side. CC manages to fend it off with the assistance of Zen 46 with the knockback. Interception from Gus at mid and a reposition over to the right side, where Hank is going to be drifting over so elegantly and attempt to defend this ball and also push Minia back. Successful for now, and he manages to shrug off this offensive, also healing up with the assistance from Barry. There's a ton of HP, enough time for Bonnie to dribble this one off the box and slot in a goal.
And yeah, a little out of the line there on the right-hand side, a bit too far ahead, couldn't really defend that one anymore. Kai going in aggressively with a hypercharge, popped immediately, gets a takedown of Gus. It's actually going to be a team wipe for Team Aqua. Already 1-0 up, we're only 1 minute into the game. And Kai could have potentially just walked that one in, decided to give BB another couple of seconds to live.
Well, she's going to get her chance to survive here in the back lines. Minia is even granting that possibility. Whoa, okay, going for the entire field to be crossed. Now moving into the enemy side, uncontested, Spider-Man style with the ball in tow for BB to get a goal on the board.
What a beautiful play here coming out of BB here. Buzz claiming that goal single-handedly, just with all the members of Team Aqua still standing in the field, just walking through and slushing that one in. 1 minute left on the clock now. Once again, Team Aqua with a bit of a better standing. They do have mid-control at the moment, but Buzz popping up one more time, finding a kill with CC and Zen are super low, but will survive that encounter. Gus, the last man standing, not enough to defend it. Minea, what a play from this man. He's the definite MVP for BB in this one.
I feel like just a moment ago we saw an opportunity for CC to score a goal and banked it off the wall. Minia was mid-torpedo super forward, probably could have been a goal for Team Aqua, but I digress. They'll have other opportunities if they can fend off this attack from Hyde, which they do. Now, Hypercharge in from Bonnie goes absolutely nowhere, just positions her towards the back lines, where she's been really comfy before, in fact. Just needs one more shot to get rid of this Gus, a little super to the sky to stay alive, and Hyde is stuck in the Shadow Realm. CC gets to walk it through, and Team Aqua claims yet another game.
With one of the quickest early goals, they still have to play all the way to 6 seconds left to finally claim the game. Very well played from Team Aqua, well played also from BB. That's one boss play to ensure that they can score. There's 2 more boss plays to make sure that Team Aqua can't score again. Super good defense, super good aggression also from this boss player. So yeah, I really like what I'm seeing so far. Also from BB, maybe this one is going to be a closer match than we expected.
Once more, Team Aqua are looking so oppressive on this offense. See them push in as one. Ooh, big move in from Buzz. That's going to be a jump in from Bonnie. And a wide open goal for Team Aqua with a main defender eliminated. How many times have you seen this Bonnie jump into their goal and go back into the cannon form to stay alive and clear things out? Well, here she comes once more. That's a super to push things back from Gus and a pass forward to Hyde, who's eliminated 2 defending brawlers on the enemy side. Team Aqua have some real competition. They're not going to be getting through this one easily, even though they have a game advantage. BB has equalized the score here in game 2.
We always find an answer despite Team Aqua immediately claiming a first goal again. Within just 30 seconds, Team Aqua scores, BB answers, and now they try to score once more. 3 members of Team Aqua still standing. Gus still's trying to move ahead, and Bonnie now, or Barry even, can just walk it in here. I was thinking maybe he passes it back, but Team Aqua in the end takes it, despite BB having some great showings, scoring in both of those games. Team Aqua closed it out in a 2-0.
I'm a little shocked that that happened there from Lily. Did she just do the math and know that, oh yeah, there's no way I'm going to defend against this? Because when you super at someone as Lily, you're going to go behind them and leave that goal wide open. Unfortunate. Either unfortunate or a poor placement there from BB. Nonetheless, that has cost them. Team Aqua are at a 2-set advantage.
2-0 already kind of goes the way we expect, but again, it's super close. BB definitely have some great showings also in Brawl Ball just now, especially that boss, when I pointed out one more time, is going to be one of the highlights of the day, and BB potentially can come close now in Gold Arm Gulch, but if it follows the same pattern, it's going to be a 2-0 for Team Aqua again.
Well, let's look at BB's performance this time, because they actually seemed quite close behind Team Aqua here. You can see that they've scored a goal both games, one from Hayden, one from Minia. And Minia there with, like, yes, you mentioned it, the Spider-Man moves across the field. But all in all, you look at their stats, and it's just quite far behind Team Aqua. One thing that stood out to me from Team Aqua was just this relentless offense from Bonnie, jumping in and providing so much disturbance in the back ranks. But CC really stole the show with an 11-3 KD. That right there is just remarkable. I wonder if we're going to get to see a similar performance from them here in set number 3, because we thought it could be a 3-0 from Team Aqua here in the lower bracket. It's shaping up to be so.
You just mentioned it. We pointed out Kai many times now. He was under Bonnie in the previous game. CC in the end takes the most kills, the most damage. Definitely did a good job on that Hank. And whenever Kit spanned out so far, Team Aqua has always picked up that Hank. Kit is going to be double banned in this one. Let's see if Hank is going to have a showing later up. We do have already 2 aggressive brawlers on the side of Team Aqua. Now Bonnie once again. Ollie, who is going to be one of the favorites on Knockout currently, just very oppressive, can shut down any aggression from the other side thanks to a good gadget or a well-placed super. And then from BB, we have a bit of a more passive comp, a bit more range. They're just trying to play slow here with Gus and Angelo, 2 snipers on their side, followed up by Squeak. So yeah, no aggression whatsoever coming out of BB now.
Yeah, I do think that we will see Squeak play as an aggro. I feel like that's usually like the role that he plays, even though he is really good at playing control. Also preemptive against like spawnables, turrets, stuff like that. Don't want to leave yourself totally open to that. They haven't gone for a thrower. They can hardly pierce walls. Like, I'm seeing the math here. I think that when it comes down to it, Squeak will fill the aggro role when necessary. So what's the last pick from Team Aqua? You see this Bonnie that has a good target that she can jump on top of in this Squeak. Angelo probably able to jump away. Gus also can blast things away. Tick is a final selection from Team Aqua. And I feel like BB may have drafted themselves into a corner just a bit here because they don't really have anything great for this Tick. That's going to be a really frustrating mid lane for them. And they came in with the anti-turret in the Squeak. You know, it's not the only thing that the Squeak is here for. But they didn't really cover all that many bases. Now, Tick is hardly a power pick, but it is still a damn good one at that. I'm, once more, subscribing to Team Aqua's draft here. Unless they get out-mechanicked by BB, then I think they should have this one.
Yeah, definitely side with Team Aqua's comp here. A bit of a more well-rounded comp with some range, with aggression, and also Tick, who counts as one of the best brawlers on a map like this one. And then 3 long-range brawlers from the side of BB. Gonna struggle heftily once the Bonnie has a super available. None of them can really stand their ground alone against them. Also, by the way, huge shout-outs to the player cans once more. Whoever didn't really feel comfortable to show their faces, they were asked to at least, yeah, show us something in their player cams, and I love a good My Hero Academia appreciation cam. Shoto there in mid, so yeah, I love that.
It's very cute, and, you know, provided BB can secure a game here, then we'll get the blessing of seeing their camera once more, but they're going to have to earn it. So far, they're 3 members strong. Here comes a Tick super round on the left side, and Minia pushed out, and BB shoved into this back left corner. There'll be a bit of mutually assured destruction, but it still leaves Team Aqua 2 members ahead, and 1 round ahead, 1 more round, and they'll be headed to a match point. Let's get a pulse on their rollout. They're playing this right lane pretty exclusively. BB are attempting to encircle them, and it's not going so well. They have gotten some poison onto Zen46 and onto CC, but that's about all Hyde's been able to do. Zen46 with an aggressive jump in and gets the kill.
Triple super available for Team Aqua. Another hypercharge coming out of Zen, and the Tick as well. Kai finishes Hyde off, last man standing from the side of BB, and that's going to be a quick match point here for Team Aqua. We didn't really see much from BB in this round. They really need to play a bit more aggressively. They have the early advantage with all of the range they bring. Once the overtime hits, the smoke comes in, Team Aqua is going to have it easy thanks to those 2 tanks.
BB's got to win a game if we want to see the My Hero Academia stuff on display once more. The figurines will just be left in history otherwise, and Chikawa will reign supreme. That's what's on the line here. Besides, of course, a shot at making the final day of playoffs. BB are only 1 loss away from waving that goodbye, and Team Aqua are on the verge of victory. The rollout from BB puts them all the way on the right side, and Team Aqua own mid. They're in an excellent position off the beginning of this round.
BB seems to slowly and steadily figure out that maybe the comp they picked up here isn't really to their advantage. Really struggle to pinch the enemies here. CC just waiting behind that wall. Zen as well, trying to heal up, instead going in aggressively, finds a takedown, and that's exactly the problem that BB is having. None of them can really stand their ground against the Bonnie. Whenever Zen has ult, it's going to be a free kill, and that first round goes the way of Team Aqua again.
1 round to win it all. BB on the brink of defeat. They made their way just barely into the top 8 to make it here, and they could find this being as far as they get in the Rival Challengers League, getting grouped as the very first team to go down. They've still got fight left in them, and they've got some pretty safe brawlers on their side. But they're stretching themselves thin, looking for an early game pick. That is what they thrive on right here. They don't really have the sustain to stay together towards the end and all get pushed in. CC would be excellent with a huge super in. Tick could benefit the same, laying down a minefield in key positions, having a super to push them back into the poison. Zen 46 with a devastating hypercharge could turn them all to a fine red mist. That poison is bound to close in shortly, and we'll see which comp has what it takes.
Well, talking about the poison, it's here now, and the comp that we're gonna strike back there is gonna be the one with 2 tanks on their side. Hyde falls first, the Goss and Tick falls almost at the same time. Goss and Squeak, my bad. Team Aqua takes this set, and with that also have claimed the match. Keep in mind here, BB did take a set off of Reject, so they did have some great showings today as well, but this team around Kai CC was just a little too good here against BB today. We see the player cam from Zen still didn't put up the second plushie. Now it would be time to to put your head up high again. They just beat one of their rivals and now have potentially a chance to go up against the big dogs again. We already saw them do really, really well, gain a match point, almost 3-0'd rival today. Maybe they get a chance to play against Reject or rival again to get a revenge match.
What a match between these two. The most efficient one that we've seen today. 0-3 for BB, and what a sweep in this final set from Team Aqua. Not a single round conceded, only dying a single time. And Zen 46, he exchanged a kill on pretty much the exact same tick that he was defeated and won the round. You see just how dominant it was from Team Aqua. They absolutely deserved it.
Definitely, Team Aqua with that moving on into the finals of the lower bracket, where they are waiting to see if they're going to face up next against Reject or Rival. They already almost beat the big dog Rival. Will they have a chance to face off against the biggest dog of them all in this group, Reject, the current champions of the BSC monthly finals? And I want to see more of this team. Please, someone sign the team around Zen, CC, and Kai.
Would love to see it. As for who we're going to bring back now, it's time as we wrap up this one that we bring back Wiggly Spoo. What's up, man? What do you think of that match?
What?
Huh?
Yes, it's already over.
But yeah, might have been a little occupied by the sounds of things. Well, okay, you know what? I'll throw you an easy softball. Maybe you can tell us what happened in that last match. I'll give you a hint. It's on the bottom left of the screen.
Oh dear, look, every really plays 5-3-0 happened. I think we were kind of worried about this when we saw just how well Team Aqua was playing against Rival. But I didn't expect them to completely just sweep BB. Was it like clean one? Was it 2 zeros all the way?
It was pretty clean, man. Like, not even close.
Oh man.
A quick 3-0 here from Team Aqua. They move on into the lower bracket final. As we see here, next up is going to be Reject versus Rival. One of them drops down to the lower bracket, has to go up again in brackets against Team Aqua, and one of them will immediately qualify for the playoffs. A super exciting match. I'm looking forward to that one.
It's going to be a fun one. We're going to be heading there right now to Rival versus Reject. These two teams, the number of times that we have seen them in the finals versus each other, is it fate that we see them together here in the upper bracket? One of them is going to have to fight their way through the lower bracket, and it's a potential Rival Esports rematch versus Team Aqua, which went to a 3-2 the previous time that they faced. And I'm just saying it now, I think Reject will take this one, Spoo. I think we'll probably see a Rival rematch.
And it'll be a different Rival, as we mentioned, because a substitution is undergoing. So apologies in advance, because we may have to do a little bit of delay here. Probably just 1-2 minutes here, just to buy a little bit of time here. Producer, do we need a break to sort that out?
Nope. Because guess what? Sunny, we'll get you back in just a game here. We'll have you for the last 2 matches of the day. For now, your services will not be required, and I'm laying you off from the cast. But it's only temporary. We'll restaff you in just a moment here. Let's talk.
I'll miss you.
That's right, because you're still on the mic. They can all still hear you. You will be dearly missed, Sonny, but we'll get you back in not too long. For now, let's talk about Reject versus Rival. We've got it here. There was a substitution that needed to happen, but thanks to some random accounting for things that I did, even though I've clearly not accounted for many things, we at least are able to elegantly transition over to that. Let's talk Reject versus Rival, and would you look at that? We have all the maps laid out in front of us, Spoo.
Yeah, for this one in particular, I did. Yeah, I mean, this is a feature that you implemented, but it kind of spoils the fact that I did technically go and jig the map pool for this one. I mean, I selected it. I just selected the maps that we've not gotten to see from today, and kind of forced it out. I think you can kind of notice the trend there. But yeah, I mean, it's cool that you know, we've all 5 maps laid out, and that your program completely accounts for that. You know, I always got to glaze the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, so the way that we're handling this is yeah. So you'll notice that it says grand finals. Don't worry, this is technically not the grand finals. It's the upper bracket finals. But yeah, in a sense, it is a qualification match. Whoever's gonna win this one is gonna be qualifying immediately for day 3. And yeah, as we've already highlighted, Rival Esports are not playing at full strength. They have just made a substitution. They're bringing in the former world champ Kenji to come and help them out here.
I mean, as far as help goes with substitutions, that's about as good as it gets, okay? Now, there is some conversation to be had, like, you know, is Kenji playing on his prime right now? He's playing with a team that's not really his normal team, but hey, you know what? That's pretty darn good to have on your side in place of Mameshi, who, well, I suppose is also a world champion. So, is that an equal trade-off? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see if this is enough to get what it takes. Ring of Fire is up first, Spoo. We'll get those bans in shortly.
Yeah, I wanted to see this map. I mean, I'm sure everybody did. I don't think anyone has any qualms with me manually selecting this as the map of the day. After all, it doesn't really provide any clear advantage to the players. They don't really know the maps in advance. But the bans, though, however, will signify to us which team has the lead. And I've got to say, love the respect from this crow coming out from both sides here. I mean, whenever you see double bans on both sides, just really goes to show that both teams can have a common mind, or this is really respect the brawler enough for it to be taken out. But interestingly, though, do you see a certain cat ban? Because I don't see it.
No, the kitty cat apparently has used his gadget to stay invisible in the ban phase. So he can pop out in the pick phase at any time. And if I recall the duration of the gadget, it's only a few seconds. So it's bound to appear soon, right? Right? Okay, I was trying to manifest it, but I don't think that worked too well. Maybe we should be grateful that it hasn't appeared just yet. In terms of things that can jump on you, though, we've got you covered there. Bonnie, Hypercharge style, should be able to stun you up, and it doesn't take her very long to get it. Just has to hit some targets. That's going to be tough into Jae-Yong since he's so darn fast and can outspeed some of those Bonnie projectiles. Juke him out. Look pretty nice there at mid. Jae-Yong sneaking in here as a first pick is a pretty novel thing. Like, it used to be the way to go when he first came out. Then he became deferred to, like, not quite a first pick anymore. And yes, it's because of things like this. The amount of area control that Lumi is able to provide to get a Jae-Yong out of position, or really anyone that she remotely outranges, by popping her gadget, having them slide forward. That's a pretty solid selection here from Rival Esports so far.
I like it, but I think this is a bit dated in terms of the patch wise. I mean, the Bonnie's fine, the Lumi's it's okay, but none of these brawlers really deal with the kit problem, and I don't know if I'm overhyping it a little bit, because Ring of Fire isn't really okay. Nope. I guess I'm not overhyping it. I guess Reject were just, yeah, they were stalling out a little bit, kind of slow rolling on the pick here, and yeah, with the Jae-Yong selection now, it's obvious that the last pick is going to be a tank of sorts, so Reject shouldn't be, you know, hiding their I mean, they should be pivoting for any kind of control here. Just pick up a tank of their own and then just really fully capitalize on what this kit can provide it. Okay, never mind. I guess it's a triple support comp from Reject, and it's typical. Reject just do this all the time. I guess it's denying the kit from Rival Esports though, but I mean, I don't really think it's that big of a deal here if it goes on the rival comp. But I have to say that this is exactly the same way that rival lost to Team Aqua, which is just to allow Kit 2 comps in a row, and that just didn't really feel intentional from them.
To once more draw parallels to the only thing that I know, this brawler pretty much won the North American Monthly Finals only 1 week ago. So that is something to not be taken so lightly. Though in terms of brawlers that can deal with that kit, resist the stun, that's where Frank comes in. Frank will just pop the gadget. He's going to listen to some sick tunes of his own creation and become completely immune, unless I'm not seeing the gadget change. I thought he was going to be running active noise cancellation so he could smack a kit that attaches itself to him, but he appears to not be swapping it yet or not swapping it at all. I'm curious to see whether we see this one as we head into our very first game between these two.
Yeah, this is the same interpretation, it's just different map. So Open Business, they did opt to run the Frank as well. They were taking active noise cancellation then. Maybe they have a different feeling for it here, but at the moment, just coming into this game, it looks like IC has managed to infiltrate the backlines here up against Melty, but the mid matchup though just looked like a complete, just crushed there by the Reject Dominion in the center.
Reject. They're sneaking up this left side. Kenji jumps in, but Melty jumps over to the right side. That's one takedown, and IC has gotten revenge. But now he's fighting a 1v2, and his respawn is going to be so staggered. He's taken down. At least he has a super to show for his troubles, and Rival Esports have fired back as well. They've got a gadget down. It's only enough to shrug off RC for a little bit here, but they have to mind this cat on the right side. Melty has the hypercharge, and he has the super too. He can start to spawn camp Rival Esports, who've already been reduced to just a one-man army. Now replenished once more. Terry getting cycled. One more stun. Melty gets it done. Wow, what a team wipe.
Replay incoming, but that's a complete team wipe there from Melty, single-handedly showing why this brawler won, as you mentioned, the North American final all by itself. Here it is still the most menacing threat. And honestly, is that not just the most obnoxious thing that you've seen in the longest time? I mean, I'm not talking about Melty, I'm talking about the kit, guys. I'm talking about the kit, obviously not Melty. It's definitely, I mean, he's playing the kit to an obnoxious level. Yeah, I mean, this brawler needs help.
You got any kit voice lines? Like, holy smokes, Melty, calm down, man. Him with the, smartphones, stupid people. Because he is definitely making them look like fools out here, pulling off a triple kill versus Rival Esports, getting a double just a moment ago. Now looking for more. Cycles the hyper. IC has to make a decision. He's cross-eyed, and he has to go for someone, ends up getting caught up in a double kill. And despite these constant, suicide missions from Melty, Reject as a roster hold on as a result of that sheer aggression.
Oh my word, and now a two-man stun coming out from Melty in the back. I tried to chain off for one more, but Bottomline kind of steals his thunder here. Puts IC inside the cocoon. It's going to allow Melty to just recollect himself back inside the backline, and it just looks like there's too many problems from the side of Rival Esports. I've got to say, this is, I don't know, the comp doesn't really seem to be working out for me here, and Melty's just doing this so well. We see a big super out there from Kenji. At the very least, they managed to clear out the backlines. And this is the beginning of a potential comeback there from the side of Rival Esports.
Rival are holding on to the best of their ability. They've got some tankiness on their side, but really that's all I'm seeing. IC out with the hypercharge. Melty's position is noted. Goes for one, gets two. He's got enough time on this point. Yeah, pop up those Match Arena winner pins. That was remarkable, Melty. That's enough for Reject to go ahead and take game number 2 and thus set number 1.
A very quick one from the side of Reject. And this was to be expected. As soon as the kit came out there, I started to worry from it. And yeah, Melty doesn't even look phased. I mean, the entirety of his persona is just revolving around how clean the room is. I've got to say, that is a super clean kit performance. Spotted the max value plays almost every single time without fail. We've got a little bit of replays coming in for you.
JK.
Or we don't. JK, just kidding. You can imagine what's going on. Yeah, see this beautiful background that we've got. Just imagine this Melty just cycling out super after super after super, and making you realize why this brawler ought to deserve a little bit more bans here.
Chat, I think we got something operational here. We're able to see just a little bit of replay. You know what? You got to take what you can get, I suppose. It's what you're getting today. And you know what? You're watching for free. You didn't pay for this. You know, I had to put time and effort into it. Whatever. Let's talk about these stats over here. I really love the performance that Reject put on in this last set. Look at just what Melty was able to pull off. And you know, it looks like he kind of doesn't stand out that much from the rest. Like he got the most kills, but he was such a dominant force on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he was just absolutely just strongest person on this team here. No doubt about that. But Rebel Esports, I feel like with the right comp, Kenji is definitely not the reason why they're losing. I mean, they did make a substitution here, but I'm not going to immediately pinpoint the blame and say that the team is worse without Mameshi. Most certainly, Rival Esports, they still got a chance. They just need the right comp. And yeah, I like the kit ban here. They're not the second pick here, and they decide that it's not worth first picking it on this map in particular. And leading out with this Willow selection is the premium thrower selection here. It's the most versatile one. It's the only thrower in the game that I like to say is first pickable. So they're gonna go for it.
Just such a great defender, really. I think that's what makes it so valuable. And then you see Reject, they go ahead and lead with their Barley. They could have saved this for the last pick, but I think this is pretty shrewd from them, honestly, and a little bit experimental. Here's the deal. They already know that they need a thrower. So screw it. We're going to go ahead and pick ours, and we're going to save our last pick for something that we don't want you to counter, because obviously you're going to be considering the possibility of a thrower as a last pick if we don't pick it. Now Rival Esports have to deal with a thrower, which they were probably expecting as a last pick, and then this Lily. Now, a way that we've seen commonly to deal with a Lily is just to go something like even tankier. Hank, I don't think is an awful option, but it does take quite a lot of damage from the Barley, so it's something that they're going to have to tread with caution around.
It's a good matchup for this Barley as well up against the Willow. It's a bit of a sharper pick here. I would say it's a more aggressive option. Rival are not the third here. They're still going to go for this Kenji, even though this sometimes arguably not the best of matchups up against the Lily. But they like it. And that's going to be their sort of anti-thrower of choice here. I'd be surprised to see if Rival Esports double downs and goes for yet another aggressive option here. I think seeing this Lily, they could opt to even, you know, go for double tank if they still want to. But Reject have the last pick. And with a lot of these bans sort of being mirrored, a lot of the pool is still left wide open for selection.
Charlie now selected for Rival Esports. Look, they got their Kenji. That's their aggressive pick. Now they've got the thing to resist enemy aggression in the Charlie. I think the Barley should be able to deal with the spiders pretty easily. Lily, not so much. Reject, I think they honestly have like a lot of options open. If they pick a tank last, then they'll want something that can survive a Kenji. I think that's really the main thing. Lily, despite her abilities, doesn't really have that much health by comparison to, say, other tanks or, you know, even assassins. Hank now makes an appearance from Reject. The thing that I kind of expected Rival to go ahead and pick into this, but I think the Barley selection from Reject did keep this one safe for them, so they can have it if they like. That will likewise be good against Charlie. It'll take damage from the Willow, sure, but at least it'll be able to deal damage to her through walls. She can't mind control a Hank through walls, and it should be able to fend off an attack from Kenji.
One of the best brawler selections for sure. It's something that usually you lead out early on here, but in this case, it's relatively, as you mentioned, it's unpunished. And Icy, they swapped up the gadgets already. It's going to be using that self-cocoon here to try and give itself a little bit more sustainability and try to win out these matchups a little bit better. It's some protection against the Lily as well. It's going to be caught out here. We might see as he just popped the gadget here. Not going to do so. A quick jump there from Battleman onto him, and Charlie goes inside the cocoon here, but the backlines are completely falling apart with Kenji sort of opening up the red carpet there. Terry gets one more kill, and Rival, they get the first goal of the game.
The aggression in the efficiency, the speed, the agility that they needed. Battleman tried to catch someone lacking with the use of his gadget, wound up catching Terry on his re-entry. Now in with the hypercharge, ends up falling short, no nothing on an Icy, which would have been the ideal target. In fact, if he had gotten Icy into the realm, that should have been a goal for Reject. Battleman's going to try and escape with his life. Excellent timing there. Melty, Battleman both trying to soak up these shots so that Shu can get it in. Cocoon absorbed. Melty still alive, and Reject get a goal.
A very quick one at that as well. And now we can tell that the change is really in Battleman's poison positioning here. Once again, a super deck committed from Terry is going to actually get the kill there onto Shu in the back, thanks to pretty much Kenji's mind control, and onto Melty, just, killing his own teammate there. Melty's going to sit on top of the Willow and just pop out the super to just annihilate him. And you can see Icy just desperately trying to make sure that the ball does not get passed over to Melty. Terry's even going to pop the hypercharge there to try to steal this ball and try to get the open goal in. Not going to be able to get it. Shu blocks it just in time.
Yeah, real nifty. Ooh, holy value there from Terry on the super. But it is a good thing that he had that hypercharge on hand, because otherwise that would have been a goal and a game going to Rival Esports. What a clutch there from Shu. Reject are still in the game. It's really anyone's at the moment, as it's only one goal separating either team from victory. An aggressive super in from Terry, but it's going to come up with really nothing at all. Now hypercharge and activation onto Battleman, trying to get additional damage. Can't use that super though. Battleman's going to use the super on Terry, and he stays alive. Kenji is still forcing things back, trying to get damage onto Shu. Looking successful so far. He's got to be close to his super as well, in potential not just to get a goal, but also to defend against a couple of hypercharges that Reject have at their disposal right now.
Terry fell really low on that right side, but he's still exerting so much pressure up against Battleman here. Icy gets a nice cocoon there onto Melty. Should be able to take him down here thanks to that hypercharge. Terry jumps across the field there. Now should be an easy pass onto him. It's just Battleman trying to stop this one, and there's no way to prevent a 3 versus 1 open goal there from happening. Rival, they take one game under their belt, and they show that they can still compete even without their beloved captain.
Oh, captain, my captain, you may be gone, but we can still get it done, man. I like the way that they played individually. I still think everyone is really playing to their strengths. They've also put Kenji on a high execution brawler over here, and they've managed to keep him in a pretty good position, but Battleman's threatening to score one. Reject with a blitzkrieg style offense got one in the goal within just, 16 seconds. Rival Esports now kind of lost for how they're going to defend, especially with Battleman once more sneaking forward with this gadget, encroaching on Kenji. He's facing 2 brawlers that can make themselves temporarily invincible. The cocoon, the dive from Willow. Gotta be frustrating for Lily, but that's the math of how Rival Esports wound up going for this draft. You also had Terry over aggressive, ends up actually grabbing the kill onto Melty and staying alive so his teammates can rejoin for an attempt at a goal.
Battleman tried for the trick shots, hypercharge super there onto Terry, but Terry just been at large for just a tremendous amount of time. Finally going to be brought down there by Terry, but it's already allowed IC to fully charge up that super, get the cocoon, get the goal in. A quick one there for Rival, but really off the backs of just the playmakers of the team. Now IC, mind control and passing it over to Melty. That he spot the goal. No! A little bit of miscommunication there between Kenji and IC. Should have been a goal there for him. At the very least, it's 2 kills to them and full positional control. But that should have been Rival taking the set.
So close to that happening, but it's not like they don't have another chance. No, not with Kenji having this hypercharge and now having the super to match. Just needs to get some solid mind control. He's going to go for it, trying to get through Shu. That's exactly what they needed. Oh my goodness, the synergy between these teammates on Rival Esports. Kenji fits like a glove, giving the mind control, a pass over to Terry, and it's like Mameshi was never gone.
Oh man, you're absolutely right. I mean, there was one small, mistake made there by Kenji, but immediately it's remedied up there. And I've got to say, Rival Esports, to see them pull this off, I want to also point out that Terry is Korean. Terry is not even a native Japanese speaker, and somehow they're probably able to just, the level of game sense is just so high between them. The timing on those plays was just immaculate. So this is just truly like what it means to be, I suppose, a team that's of this caliber. And yeah, I mean, Kenji's a great fit for this team.
I mean, he stayed competitive with the rest of the guys. I still think Terry completely stole the show. And if you looked at this, you may be a little confused. It's a bit hard to tell, okay, you know what? I want you to hold your hand up to the screen and cover up the goals part, and then you tell me who wound up winning. Because it actually is pretty even on the stats. Melty and Battleman were these premier assassins. Shu was absolutely battered and bullied. But you could say the same for Kenji and Icy. They got some pretty solid damage in here. But Rival Esports, my goodness, did they make it happen? A close one, but they've equalized the score. It's now 1-1.
And now I mean, I'm gonna throw my prediction out the window once again. I mean, earlier I was saying that I think that this would be really difficult for the side of Rival. They've just lost their big captain. He's not sort of the flashiest player of the team, but he does lead the team in terms of strategy and tactics, and he's always the one making a lot of the big call-outs in the team. And even without him, it looks like Rival can stand on their feet. And in a comp where I personally wasn't too convinced by it, it's working out for them. Now headed over to New Horizons though, which sorry guys, I rigged the map pool so that we could see this map today.
This?
Yeah, because we haven't seen it. I mean, we've seen Goldarm Gulch, we've seen Bell's Rock, and yeah, I mean, disgusting map, but it's in the map pool officially, so I gotta see it played out. Yeah, let's just look at two way more beautiful players. I love the contrast between the hair colors, by the way, between these two players, and even like the attire of what they're wearing, the chairs, everything, the whole shebang. I mean, we've got the Angels versus Demon event going on, and it's literally Angels versus Demon event palette on the screen as well.
It's wonderful. You got Melty in this like pristine, sparkling like room of porcelain with everything in white, and then Terry's over here, you know, black hair, black and red jersey. Yeah, he's by the way, folks, you know, little spoiler for one of the skins that you can get in the new Demons update. Terry is going to be one of them. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun, being Terry? Well, okay, enough of that. Let's actually talk about what's happening on screen right now. We have our bands in and our pick phase underway. A couple picks coming in at the same time. The 2-3 from Rival Esports is Brock and Jae Young. To see Brock appear so early is a little bit interesting. What Brock communicates is like, I'm going to break open those walls. But this time it's more of a preemptive thing and not a reactive thing. Given that Rival Esports have last pick, it makes me scratch my head a little.
It's one of the better open map things that you can go for here. Gray is still available if Reject want to seize back control of that, but at the moment, because of the fact that they've picked up this Ollie already, they're sort of revealing that they're just going to be playing it out for the late game, and this is just really classic Reject. I mean, they've got three brawlers that scream Reject. I think we saw this exact comp being played in North America as well. There's a combination between the Ollie, Angelo, and Bonnie, just provides coverage across that early, late to mid game all the way. There's no real weaknesses in their comp. It's just very skill-centric. And so Rival Esports, they're the ones that has to take the initiative to try and carve out a stronger win condition, because I agree, at the moment, I'm seeing a lot of utility from Rival, but just no real win condition. So they've locked in the Gus, and that kind of basically signals that they're just essentially going to try and gap you with the range, which is one of the major weaknesses of this Bonnie and the Ollie. Okay, noted.
Another ability that Gus possesses, like, yes, you can gap him with the range. You got competitive range with Angelo. Also have to mind the matchup versus Bonnie, right? You will actually be outranging Bonnie. And I don't even really need to point out that you outrange Ollie in that matchup. But also, you have a shield that can blast people away, that cannot be forgotten about when you're playing against this Bonnie. At this rate, it honestly wouldn't even be the worst thing for Brock to run the jump. He's still going to be running the wall break, though, because he needs to break these walls that Ollie's going to be using to survive so that Reject can't play the late game.
It's the long-term solution for them. They have to tear up as much of the map as possible, which you see Terry doing so here. That's the second wall break of the game. Looks like at the moment the focus is just to open up the left side of the map, but by the end of the game it should look like overtime in Brawl Ball. They need as much space as they can, but the early game is very challenging for them. Kenji though smells blood, wanted to go for a play there on bottom one, did force out the gadget from them. Now it's Terry hammering down with more lightning bolts, but no real connections from them. It's gonna be Shu's turn now to go on the aggressive with that gadget, just threatening to, just flashing the jump like every single shot that he lands, really.
Just a reminder that, like, I'm gonna do it. Just kidding. I'm gonna do it. Just kidding. But you thought it was. Like, the constant fake out, and then when he eventually does use it, the reaction time's gonna be thrown off. But how much value is it really gonna provide? Well, Battleman's got 1 kill around the left side. Make it 2. Looking for 3. He needs 2 shots on a Terry. Now make it just 1. He whiffs 1. Terry's lining these up. Looking so good, but Battleman still just wins on the health matchup. Just not really that possible of a matchup to win as Brock in close range. Here comes a speed from Kenji. They're going to try and take over control of mid, and look at what Terry has earned. 1 round, and he's already gotten a hypercharge, just as a testament to how reliably he is hitting these shots, even when it was close in, which is where Brock is actually the worst.
Shu's got the hypercharge though, and that's going to be popping it out now. Not going to be using it just yet. We see the spacing there from Rival is really good though, but the nice tap there from Shu. And now Bottomman does commit together with Shu. The whole team joins in on that party. Pile on. Rival Esports annihilated in that little nifty position. They managed to break about a fair bit of space there for them, but just kind of not really enough there. I mean, you can't afford to feed Reject that much utility, and going into that second round, just full steam ahead. Reject had everything that they needed to break apart the Rival Esports comp.
Reject once more finding their positioning. Despite the cover gradually dwindling away, they're still focusing on establishing these strongholds. And also playing around this left side. Battleman's attempting to keep the range versus Kenji. He's going to pop the gadget, look for 2. If he had 3, would have been a kill on Battleman, but at least he's kept Battleman away from the rest of the team. We'll see. Rival Esports now regrouping on the left side for another push in, and there's yet another wall breakout from Terry. Doesn't quite make that last wall disappear, but he's gotten so much broken open that's going to be supremely challenging for Battleman to stay alive in the next round. But this is about the current round. Can Rival Esports really hold on here? Well, they're tapping up Battleman. He's reduced to just 1 more tap, but still, they don't have the range to properly take him down. Poison closing in, and Rival Esports are now having to fend off the push from Battleman. There's 1. IC looks for the kill, gets it. 2v2, and now make it a 2v1. Shu taken down, and Rival Esports finally get around.
Much better there from Rival Esports in that first round, and they've been able to deny quite a lot of value as well. Bottomman doesn't even have a super at the moment, should be getting it very shortly. Shu is taking quite the pummeling. He's got the super, but without the hypercharge active just yet. It's going to be slightly more difficult though, but beautiful dodges there coming out from the side of Reject, and this time it's them managing to push Rival all the way back. They get 1 kill, but they trade Bottomman for it.
Rival Esports locked into this 2v2 for the game, for the equalizer, or it could all be dashed to bits and pieces. They also need to take down Shu. Shu is going to use his hypercharge super if he absolutely needs to, but he would much prefer to save it for the next round. There's just confidence that they can go ahead and win this one, but they are losing ground. Shu, he's flashing this super. He's considering it. He might just have to. Knows that he can get damaged in close range by Kenji. Knows he can get blasted away by this hypercharged super, but he's just going to have to go for it. Total whiff, but it's still only a trade. Melty, he's healing up. He's got to survive just 1 more hit from IC, who's playing it super safe. The jukes are out from Melty. 1, 2. IC can't hit him. There's the killing one. And Rival Esports get the game.
They tie it up 1-1 and show they've still got a fight inside them. And it looks like the way to win is to win early. They can't afford to just wait for that Brock late game like they were originally planning to. Maybe they can get a little bit of the break, but once they get the central walls taken down and maybe one side, it's sufficient for them to just get sort of pinches going and start to really punish the fact that this Ollie at range is still a really terrible brawler. Now though, Battleman is not really convinced, and this is the Reject early game that's really strong. They've managed to push Rival all the way back to the spawn.
Rival Esports in a great position right now. Battleman's also hard at work farming up his super, which he's bound to have gotten close to by now, as he rotates over towards the left side, knowing that he can juke out these shots from Kenji. IC now wants a piece of the pie. Battleman's forced to jump away, got too greedy, and was punished for it. Rival Esports have the 3-2 man advantage, and they don't have to deal with this Ollie anymore. So they're able to play much more aggressively. They didn't even feed him a super. It's just wonderful. Super out from Terry, and all of these bushes and obstacles are torn to shreds. It's just Melty left, and what he's going to do is look for his super and his hypercharge, but once that poison closes in, he'll be taking the easy out.
Yeah, an easy out. Yep, nope, actually just feeding up
Okay,
two more
sure.
shots. I mean, he considered it. He considered it. I'm sure he was thinking about it. But I guess to him, you know, what value is that Kenji shot or two on IC Hypercharge or Terry Hypercharge for that? I mean, it's not them that they are really that concerned about. But this is an excellent position that Rival are playing into. The map is nicely opened up. You got IC and Kenji on the left side, just healing up. And, you know, keeping each other topped up here. But Reject have accomplished their mission. They've managed to push Rival back all the way into the base. And this time, this is a good position to start farming those useful hypercharges on both Shu and Melty, which should be the major win conditions for them.
With no cover, this is going to be so difficult for Reject. They're still giving it their all. They at least have a super for Battleman. Melty's is active right now, but Rival Esports are playing this range game expertly. Melty's also trying to hunt down IC. We saw just a moment ago. He's focusing on Terry now, knowing that he can win that range matchup, but down one goes. Battleman, the first to fall once more. And here comes the heals for IC. Shu with a hypercharge in that goes absolutely nowhere. And Melty is the final member to fall. Rival Esports secure the set for themselves. They get themselves a solid advantage, 2-1 over Reject. In spite of Reject taking that first game of the set, Rival Esports bounce back. And I just have to wonder what really happened here. It looked like Battleman got focused hard. And in this most recent game also, Reject, they didn't get a single kill.
And this is without Mameshi. I have to hammer that in. I mean, maybe Mameshi is still drafting for the team in some capacity. The medical issue that he was facing was physical. So, like, maybe mentally, if he's still around, he could be, you know, helping his team make the call-outs as well. I mean, it's not the first time that we've seen a team, you know, win an entire final with a substitution. Cough, cough, Zeta Division. So, I think this was great. And I liked, you know, we were a bit puzzled when we saw the Brock and the Jaeyoung lead out. I mean, didn't really look like it was, you know, leading into any kind of a strategy. But I think Reject, they're exploitable. This Oli and the Bonnie was the weakness of the common Battleman. As you said, he ate most of the deaths, right? He was sort of the brawler that as soon as, like, it's just so hard to be an Oli here. He still got 4 kills and he still did, you know, looking at the healing, this guy was dodging for his life, for sure. And even that, it was still so difficult. I mean, you're dodging a Kenji, a Brock, and a Gus shot all at the same time in a pure open map. I mean, if he survived as long as he did, I'm already surprised.
Goodness. I'm looking at all these stats from Rival Esports at the moment, and I'm really impressed by what I see. Terry also locking in really solid damage. I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing that. IC, though, has definitely the most impressive KD over here. On a brawler that usually is not known for locking away the most kills, just getting the most damage. And not only has he gotten the most damage, but he's gotten the most kills too. But when we saw this in the draft, we knew that this was to play the range game, and that it very much did.
Worked out in their favor. Now they're at match point. But knowing Reject aren't gonna go down without a fight. I mean, they're not gonna willingly walk into that lower bracket to play up against Team Aqua, even though, you know, they could reasonably. You know, maybe they just want to play out against every single team here today. The beauty of double elimination is that one team will get to play at least 3 of the teams here at one given moment. But here, going into double swoosh, still looking at the bans. Love the Kit ban immediately from Rival Esports. I think they're the first pick here. They've banned out Kit, Crow, and Lily, and yeah, Reject's gonna lead out with Tara, surprisingly. And it surprises me because Rival, I mean, an Amber pick has got to be coming here to punish this.
Surely, there are just so many different ways that you could deal with the Tara selection. A lot of things that just have Pierce, Buster, Sandy. My goodness, this one has been a popular one lately. And I think I mentioned Buster just now. Janet, also possible mid to play here that doesn't get as upset by the Tara. You can super away. You could jump away if you really wanted to. Janet is a response from Rival Esports. Look, there's a handful of brawlers that are a direct response to Tara. When she's first selected, you just got to go for it. And when you don't ban the Tara, then you know that it's going to show up in some capacity. So I think Rival Esports were pretty fine with playing the Janet or otherwise Tara counters here.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind even they went Janet plus Amber here just to really double down and punish this Tara completely. I mean, Janet Amber on this map covers quite a lot of ground, to be honest, and it's gonna be the Sandy even better, honestly. That's a really old school counter to the Tara, but we've seen a resurgence here inside this current meta because of all the assassins, the kits, the lilies. I mean, none of that's being represented here, but another beautiful usage of the Sandy is really just to completely crush the early game matchup up against Tara. And you know, 2 years later, I'm happy to say it still works. I mean, you get so much value on the Tara, and Sandstorm always makes it difficult to get a good gravity in.
So 2 responses to the Tara so far. Rival Esports might be pushing it if they go for a third one, but at least with the Tara problem dialed in, they've gotten themselves a pretty open last selection to just go whatever they want. Jae Yong makes another appearance for Reject. They really love this Jae Yong. It'll give them speed. It'll be a solid mid. You get piercing. You know, you want to look for someone in the bushes. You can do that too. Solid damage also in a pinch. Just you don't have any way of CC. So that should be noted. Anything aggressive that gets in, you are going to be a bit out of luck. Though at least he does have respectable range versus a Sandy. Here comes the Buster. I think Reject were like, okay, you're not going to run a full anti-Tara comp, okay? We're still going to have at least something for ourselves, even though it was left wide open. But I still think Rival Esports were quite comfortable with this possibility.
Oh man, I see a lot of last picks that I think Rival could go for here and completely break the Reject comp here. Amber is definitely at the forefront of my mind. I think it really, it's just so much value that you can get here. The hypercharge has to basically be a complete win condition for them. You've got to be kidding me, Mameshi! If you're drafting, Kenji, if you're watching, what is this? This is not the pick. This is styling to the absolute limit. This is drafting Mortis into 3 brawlers that counter you completely. What am I looking at?
So you were saying, what is this? This is Mortis the Magnificent, the bringer of bats, you know, like everything under the sun and otherwise not under the sun. This guy's a creature of the night. I hope I answered your question for what this is. As for what he's doing here, I'm not really sure, but he might as well be digging his own grave as his final task of his own profession. We'll see if Mortis has what it takes. The last time I saw Mortis in comp, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but it didn't do great. Mortis is one of those very conditional picks. The setting has to be just right for him to work, and when he does work, it really just means that he didn't suck.
That's one way to put it, and I mean, I'm not saying that IC is going to suck this game, but look guys, this is a really difficult Mortis game, and he's gonna get some value off the hypercharge, at least off one push, but my goodness, this is really, I would say this is almost disrespectful levels. Maybe chat can entertain it. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a Mortis main, but when I look into this comp in my mind, you got a weakened warrior for burst damage, you got a pull from Melty to stop you from coming out. Gravity is always gonna be a huge threat, and it's really telling. I mean, Rival, they're behind in gems, but they're obviously playing for a team wipe.
Oh, they're playing for it. Well, Rival Esports, they could at least use a Mortis super. They're just being denied everywhere with Rejects sticking together. Here comes double pull for Battleman and gets shut down. Kenji up to the skies. That's the anti-Tara gameplay. But Melty gets gem number 10. Shu with number 9. Oh, they're thinking about it. Can Melty provide enough peel for Shu to get number 10? Oh, he's going to go for it and decide, nah, not worth it. Here's a hypercharge pull in from Battleman. And that is why Tara is such a good first selection, even in the face of a couple of counters. Folks, what is the Mortis doing here?
I don't know. I saw chat say win trading. I've got a different theory here. I mean, it's not as bad as win trading. I just think they want to play set number 5. Okay, maybe maybe they're just doing this for the entertainment. You know, Rival want to play up against Team Aqua and, you know, show that they can 3-0 them. I don't know. Or honestly, it could be a misdraft, right? Like maybe Mortis, there's a pick beside Mortis that they wanted to go for, and in panic they have it. I don't know. It doesn't seem super intentional, but we gotta hold our breath. It's still only game number 2. They're not out just yet, and IC's got a really aggressive position going on, and bam, okay, he's gone.
Bye-bye. Yeah, down goes Terry, and the final one to capture would be Kenji. It's going to be Battleman circling around the right side to go ahead and get it. And goodbye, Icy. Just need to see some real value out of this Mortis. Even a super. My goodness, someone save us right now. Icy's going to go for it. Not even a single hit on Melty or Shu. He's dashing in. He's feeding those supers, and Reject are absolutely feasting right now.
It's a free flow buffet. You've got Jae-Young, supers, chaining back to back. You got Banaman getting free real estate. You got Melty just spamming auto aim like his life depends on it. And you got Terry just looking really lost between his 3 teammates. Easy 10 gems in the countdown now. And it's gonna be all on ice. It's like watching, it's really like watching like those faceplant videos that you see, like, fastest faceplant on the planet. Icy just goes in, slams his whole face head first into the wall there. Yeah, this Mortis didn't work out for them.
My favorite kind of brain rot to watch on LAN lately has been these 3 people sitting in folding chairs and like this big balloon full of like black paint is swinging towards them, and they're all blindfolded. Inevitably, one of them stands up and gets smacked with the black paint instantly. That is what I watched happen to Mortis literally every single time he dashed in. Not a single hit, just being punished. The moment that he did finally hit Buster and get a super, I saw for a microsecond that little dash yellow outline flash, and then he was turned to a mist. That was a swing and a miss. That one never got going. I'm going to be like squinting as I look at these stats in just a moment here because I'm not sure if I'm going to be really ready for it. Ugh. Yuck. Yeah, that one will leave a sour taste in your mouth. Icy. What? Mameshi, come on, bro.
Mameshi trolling his teammate, telling him, I see. Mortis, good brawler, very good brawler. And he's like, really? He's like, yes, really. And then they pick it, and 0-8. And less damage than the Sandy. I might add, I don't know. I think I was hyping up. I was saying there's so many good last picks they can go for, and then I look at this rubbish. Just
rubbish.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay. They don't have the rubbish this time. They got the cat, but it's hot potato. I mean, it's debatable whether this is the absolute goated pick here. I've got to say, Reject, they've allowed this to happen, so I'm sure they've got something planned.
Surely, right? But, well, actually, let's look at the things that they have banned out. They've gotten rid of Kaze, Cordelius, feel like you have to get rid of those. The Lumi, I feel like, could be exchanged for a kit, depending on your comfortability with the selection. So I do agree. I think they've let this kit through on a decision. Here come the counter selections from Reject. Cordelius, gone. Guess what? We've got the Choo Choo Man, and we've got the one thing that is good against it. The only way now for Rival Esports to properly deal with this is to out-base race it.
Yep, and they do have the tools for it. I mean, the kit is an excellent control brawler here that will 100% get some value as long as cardboard box isn't really scouted out. The other way is to just honestly, if you got like a something like a Kaze, I mean, they don't have Kaze specifically right now. You could just hitch a ride on your teammate and just do an insane amount of damage using those bombs. Kit is, one of the highest damage dealing brawlers even when it's on an ally. So sort of a battering ram, you can think of it that way. But they're gonna opt to go for this Amber as the defender of the day. It does pretty well into the Chuck and into the Charlie. I completely don't mind this pick at all. And Terry, as I've been glazing him all day long, plays an excellent one. And the vehicle is there. It's gonna be this Carl selection here, which surprises me a little bit. I think they could have gone for a sharper pick if they wanted to.
I kind of felt like they'd go for a Melody here. I feel like Melody, like comboed with Kit, can be pretty strong. Also, I feel like Charlie isn't all that great into Melody because, like, cool, you put her in the cocoon, but now you can't damage her anymore. And those notes, they're not in the cocoon. Here comes the direct response to the Carl. This is the thing that counters Carl, and it's also good generally on a heist because you have some pretty solid close range damage and you have supreme maneuverability. You're also able to stun Carl in the middle of that super, which is pretty much the main reason why it's so good. You're gonna gain value on him through the wall, so that is additional value. Only real thing that I see giving this issue is probably the Amber, and that's going to be with Dancing Flames exclusively.
still winnable though, nonetheless. I mean, the Buzz is a great counter there onto the car, but the kit counters everything. So, I mean, it really is gonna come down to, I assume it's Kenji piloting this kitty cat. But yeah, the early game here. All right, so first move there, cardboard boxes out there from the kitty cat. It's gonna get 2 swipes in there and a jump in there. Completely gonna be whiffing it there, but it's still complete domination from the side of Rival Esports. They get a team wipe and the first layer of shielding goes down.
Okay, here comes the Choo Choo Man once more. He's got the setup that he wanted, but he hasn't gotten any damage on Rival Esports' safe just yet. Here comes a Cocoon out. Was that a misstep from Reject? Well, Battleman's going to be rejuvenated for this new defense, but they have lost a couple of shields on their safe already. IC is going to get to work burning it down, and Battleman is attempting to keep up. He's got to tank some of this fire. I think he thought it was going to go down a little bit earlier and decided to go for it off of that decision making. Nonetheless, Rival Esports boasts a serious advantage right now. It's going to be Kit getting the stun, now probably a kill on Shu, just need one more swipe, but no, Shu had the attack at the ready. IC barrels right through him. Terry around the right side also with a hypercharged super in, waits for the shield to go away, and this is a done game.
There's just so much firepower coming out from Rival Esports. I mean, between this Kit and this Amber, this is the reason why Kit has to be banned, right? I mean, it's so clear. It just provides too much pressure in every stage of the game. And I'm even surprised that Reject, they thought that a Charlie and a Chuck would be sufficient to deal with it. I mean, the only way that you can really stop Kit reasonably right now in the game is tanks and a lot more CC here. We see once again early game interaction, right side immediately just traded out there for Kenji, but it is to their favor because they managed to stall out Melty from setting up these sort of what do you call those things, rail posts? Yeah, set that up pretty much and yeah, lay down the tracks pretty much.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Reject, their plan's gone off the rails already. Though they have gotten a setup much earlier than they did last time, and they've gotten some solid damage. Previously, the defense was just so there for Rival Esports that Reject weren't successfully able to punch through. That's going to be the first rail, or rather shield, traded out by both teams, but the rails are soon to come back online. Melty is closing in, and we're not seeing the defense evisceration on the right side. You can't separate these two. They are indomitable.
You're supposed to counter him! You're supposed to counter him, Shu! There we go! He's finally doing his job a little bit there. It's a bit of a comeback there from Reject, but 2 whiff supers back-to-back from Shu is definitely gonna hurt him. At the very least, they managed to even things up. No, they didn't break the last layer of shielding. That's really crucial tempo that they need. Hypercharge gonna be going out there from Kenji. Yes, you've got Melty diving inside the back, but that's too little, too late. Rival Esports against all odds. The nature of East Asia is that the substitute team always wins. Rival's the first team to advance to your day 3, to your final. Mameshi can rest easy. He can rest for the next 2 days because he's earned it. They've sent Reject now to a lower bracket match, but what a showing from Rival.
Excellent stuff from Rival. You throw him a real wrench in their plans, and guess what? They pick themselves back up and they still get it done. And what's Terry doing now? He's getting in the VC and he's saying, like, we did it, guys. Okay, like, see you in a couple days. let's knock off for a day and we'll show up to day 3 the same we did today. Just kidding. They earned their spot here. They've taken down Reject. Rival Esports, they have faced this matchup so many times, and it has been consistently challenging for them. But they still get it done in a 3-2 series, the same way that they managed to take down Team Aqua earlier.
What a game, right? Oh man, I mean this one couldn't have gone any better. It's almost poetic to me, right? They got completely curb stomped by Team Aqua's Kit, and here when they needed it the most, yeah, I mean they kind of let it slip there in the gem grab set. I mean the mortis pick and everything, but after that Rejects let it slip in the other way. They let this Kit through in hot potato, and it was too much. It was just way too much to stop them. So that's gonna bring us to our final match of the day here. And I do believe we're gonna have a bracket coming out shortly here. Yeah. As I amend that in the background, but
you want to tell them what happened there, Spoo? So look, I'm the one who's supposed to have like everything figured out Unfortunately, there's one thing that I haven't automated, which is the bracket, which is Spoo's responsibility. So this is our flow. What happens is Spoo gets into Photoshop and he like makes a bracket for whatever outcome he thinks is going to happen. And you wouldn't. I mean, we're delaying here. So what outcome do you think he put down? It starts with an R. That's all I'm telling you. I don't think that really narrows it down, though.
I can hear Sunny. I can hear Sunny holding back her laughter. We can get Sunny back here. I think we can get her back here.
Hello, Sunny.
Hello. What a nice match. Honestly, I'm kind of jealous that I didn't get to cast that one. Beautiful. And also, what a story that in the end, Rival takes victory over Reject. They just have won the monthly finals, and we are in the Rival Challengers League. So, kind of scripted, isn't it?
Yeah, it just feels right, doesn't it? But I feel like Rival have kind of struggled to win sort of their own tournament here. So they've kept themselves alive. They're the first team to make it through this group. They're the first team to make it through entirely to the top 4, where they're going to be playing things double elimination style once again. But if it had been single elim, they still would have made it through. I mean, what a solid run through. Even though they did look a little shaky against Team Aqua, not going to lie, they still make it to the ultimate goal for the day.
Not to take away anything from Team Aqua's performance, I think now we can say that maybe they would have performed even better if they had a healthy Mameshi or Kenji already for their first match. Yeah, Team Aqua obviously made it super close. They got reverse swept in the end, and we are gonna see them later today again. I'm excited for that one because now they have to face off against Reject, which, my god, is gonna be a match.
This is going to be quite a match, folks. What we're about to witness coming up next is Team Aqua versus Reject. I hope you guys are ready. And, you know, not just the folks in the audience. Spoo and Sunny, this is going to be yours. I'm stepping away for this one, so have fun.
Thank you, Reddy, for wishing us fun. I'm sure we have some fun. Spoo, this is going to be our last cast again together for a little while, so I'm super excited for it. He's banging his mic. Okay. Well, I was looking forward to today, and I think we're gonna do great. Let's just give it our all and hope we get to cast again soon.
Thanks for the pep talk, Sunny. I'm sure we will. And if you guys like Sunny in the chat, just give her a huge shout out. I mean, this was a super last minute thing to you know, bring her on, and I'm glad that she could make it for today at the very least though. But there we go, we're back inside Open Business, and walk us through the draft once again. I'm gonna tap on you a lot for this, and let you show up your prowess here. Do you think the Team Aqua have what it takes to stop the Reject kit?
Let's see. I mean, leaving kit open, already a risk I wouldn't take personally, but let's see. Team Aqua likes to play kit themselves, so it made a lot of sense that they have actually left it open. First pick did go towards Reject though in the end. Crow is going to be the last pick from Team Aqua, something to address the tankiness that we have on the side of Reject. He's really the only one that they have to address it, since Gray and Hank are going to struggle a bit more, I feel, against those two tanky brawlers. Specifically, Draco is going to be your brawler of choice to counter Hank usually.
It usually is, on paper at the very least, yeah. But instead, that's not the selection that they've really gone for here. You got a Gray plus a Hank combination, still going to be working out for Team Aqua, but I think the Reject comp is really just quite remarkable to deal with this one. Yeah, it's pretty scary comp to be going into this from the side of Reject. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not favoring the Team Aqua comp whatsoever here. I think that they've kind of drafted themselves into a corner.
I'm just glad to see that the kitty cat is not going to be drowning this time around on the side of Team Aqua, but it's going to be the fish in water where he belongs. They did play a couple of Hank also before, so Team Aqua and Hank just fit together like a glove that is rightfully sized for the hand it was made for. Yeah, let's head into the first.
I will laugh at your joke, Teddy. I will laugh at it. But it's not you that I'm laughing at. It's the game that we're going to be coming into it. Holy, Bottomman's already got a hypercharge charged up and should have his super online very soon once he stops hitting the walls. Yeah, we see the nice pairing made up there between this Melty and Shu. And TP's gonna be coming in from CC, but yeah, this is exactly why this is not the comp that you want to be drafting Gray +1 into. It's just way too much damage that Reject can output as an entire team. And now big jump there from Bottom to just further punish this TP in from CC.
With a good start from the blue roster here, Team Aqua claiming a couple of percent to start, but now it's all in the name of Reject. Just that I say that Team Aqua with a huge strike here gets a complete team wipe, and slowly and steadily they claim some percentages themselves now. Still not enough though to take over the lead. Reject so far still with a 5% lead. It's slowly shrinking. Team Aqua claiming the lead in a second. Now there it is.
Then 46, amazing double super there chained out from him, but now it's Melty with the hypercharge. It's currently not really getting much really big connections there. They're all so low. Shu plus Melty is gonna be going in there trying to get this kill. Baraman falling really low here, but just, oh my goodness, just really min-maxing on the plays here from the side of Reject, and then dodging out every single shot there from Baraman. Zen 46 is gonna TP, jump into another portal. Okay, now we're thinking with portals, but not really the ideal position you wanted to be in at the end of it. And after all this chaos, Reject are gonna prevail.
20% is the difference maker here for Reject. They did have control for most of the match here. We did have some shining moments also from Team Aqua though, with some great crow jumps. That is the player, Melty. We know him, changed hair color once more, but yeah, as beautiful as always, honestly. Yeah, some great showings also from Team Aqua, honestly. I believe this is already a second game here, so let's head straight into it. Can Reject claim the set here, or is it gonna be an even scoreboard after this one?
Let's see if they can actually make this one work here. A jump there from Zen 46 is gonna end Shu prematurely. And it's Reject now that are desperately trying to get back inside the mid. It's a much better start there from Team Aqua. They've got this great TP set up much earlier, but Reject, the strength of the comp is not particularly in cycling here. I mean, once they get one super here, that's really all that they need to get the thing going there. We see her, you know, Shu and Melty jump together here, but Zen 46 had the slow to sort of completely neuter this play.
Hit sitting atop of Melty. This double tank comp is really hard to take down, but Zen and CC are able to make it in at the end. Also take down on the last man standing, another team wipe from Team Aqua, and they take over the lead, looking a lot better than in game one. Trying to hold on to control here. Zen with the super available is a little bit too low to use it just yet. Still dares to do it. Getcha will keep Melty alive. He's the last man standing and burning down to the poison of Crow in the end. Team Aqua now in the lead with 30%.
It's looking much better from Team Aqua there, now counting up to 100. The last push there from Reject is coming in though. Melty's hypercharge is the plan here, but a double TP there from the side of CC is almost going to be able to chain off a second super. 99%! And they're going to claim it with KY keeping in to just cap off the point there. It's back to Team Aqua cams here. And hey, they've recovered the plushie. You know, they managed to make it stand up again.
I'm glad to see it. They also managed to stand up against Reject in this one, and it's 1-1 now in this first set. Team Aqua already has been a huge revelation against a rival today, almost claiming victory there in a 3-0. Got reverse swept in the end, unfortunately, but now they're looking just as strong against Reject. It's honestly a phenomenon to watch this team today.
Yeah, who said East Asia only had 5 teams? Certainly not Team Aqua, but a full team wipe there from Reject off the backs of a hypercharge there from Baruman plus Shu. Now we see the Grey sacrifice himself to get the TP going so that this Hang can start to do its job here. But there we go. The Dragon and the Cat reunited as one. They're slowed up for the moment, but this is a battering ram that cannot be stopped. Zen 46 tried to go for a jump, but Baruman one step ahead, trades it out with KY. And it's just back to the game one positioning that we're all so familiar with.
Another 66% lead here for Reject, doing a lot better again. It's reminding us of game number 1 where they had complete control for the longest time. Team Aqua there slowly and steadily claims back some percentages. Still Reject in a huge lead, but as long as Team Aqua stands in mid like this one, they're gonna come closer eventually. CC falls to Shu here. Shu, no super available, can't save himself by jumping onto Bedham and will fall in the end. But Reject still slowly and steadily crawling towards that 100%, only 9% more in the win.
And there we go. That should be Reject capping this game number 3 of set number 1. Done and dusted, and a pretty clean performance there from Reject. It looks like Melty has become someone that I'm very fond of. Wow, Melty, give your best Melty impressions going on here. In case you guys haven't noticed, this is kind of intentional because we did lose the Melty cam somewhere through, and we're not gonna bother him in the middle of the set to get it back online. So yes, indeed, this is our Melty cosplay, so we're trying our best to look as pretty as him. But if I'm gonna be honest here, I think I feel really inadequate trying to, look as good as Melty here.
That is so true. I hope I got the Melty pose right there. I think my cam was a little in slow-mo once again, so my timing was perfect, I swear, but it only showed 2 minutes later. Anyways, looking at the stats here, Melty with the most kills, so I hope we we're able to give a good image of him on cameras. Betterman Shu also did phenomenally. Look at the damage from Betterman, 161,000. Really, really well played. And obviously, Melty just stood in that zone for the longest. He's the tankiest brawler on the map, together with Kit as a backpack, even tankier.
Yeah, it's back to the same old story of just Kid having 100%, pick ban rate today, and I believe the win rate has also been 100%. No team has been able to, figure out a way in this tournament just how to break Kid just yet. And I must say that, I don't know, I watched the BSC, and I think I saw a few really, really stellar kit performances, but here in East Asia, it looks like every single kit performance so far from all of our players has been absolutely just min-maxing the value that you can get from this kit. So Team Aqua now, though, they don't have the kit selection. It was banned out by Reject, and they're gonna instead have to go with this Bonnie and the Kaze inside Pinball Dreams, which is a fairly okay 2-3, especially up against the Lumi. It's two brawlers that I think will fare decently well into her, but I'm just wondering if they've sort of overcommitted on this.
We're gonna find out soon. Crow left open, Kenji as well. Both of them Reject likes to play. Gonna go with the Barry instead, and they already have that Lumi. I mentioned it before. You have 4 brawlers you always have to look out for at the moment. It's Cordelius, Charlie, Lumi, and Kaze. And with Charlie and Cordelius banned out on the left-hand side, and then Kaze and Lumi picked up once again. The rule strikes. The rule is true. Those 4 brawlers are gonna show up in the draft, either in the bans or in the picks. Now Reject with a last pick have something to support a tank. Let's see if a tank is actually going to come in here. If it's going to be Kenji, Hank is going to come in instead. So we don't have the wife-husband battle in this one. It's going to be the Hank again. For once, not on the side of Team Aqua.
Yep, no domestic violence matchup gonna be happening here. It's instead gonna be just the Hank that's selected once again, and it's a hate pick, honestly, from the side of Reject here. They recognize the fact that this biggest thrower in the form of Willow was banned out, so Team Aqua are gonna be pulling out the Dynamite, and cheeky Team Aqua, they found a way that potentially they could cheese this comp, and they just went straight for it, and this is just showing how confident they are.
I like what I'm seeing. The Dynamite is something we're not seeing very often, but why not? We see a lot of Barley, a lot of Larry, Willow. Today, we're going to see a Dynamite, Barry, Bessel, the 2 throwers. And Dynamite, he can open up walls. He has a decent range into the Barry. I don't mind the damage also, as they are playing into a tank. You do need some hefty DPS, and Dynamite definitely brings that with him. As long as those walls are not broken up, he's also going to do fairly well against the Lumi. So yeah, honestly, a surprising pick, but it's working out well. CC already with the first takedown. That's a chance for Team Aqua to strike early. The ball, unfortunately, doesn't quite reach Kai, otherwise that would have been a very quick 1-0 for Team Aqua.
Oh yeah, Sparks did fly over there. Both teams just traded out everything that they could to save it. Bottomite kind of whiffs a bit of a super there. Gonna clip the wall there, wanted to, go in there, commit there with Melty, especially with Kai just completely out of position now. He does have a hypercharge though that he can commit here to dodge out this aggressive move. They're gonna be jumping into the back straight into Bottomite. It's gonna be the first one to fall here. Bottomite managed to get him down, but nowhere to go. Bottomite's gonna trade things out with CC here. He's gonna continue with this big barrel boom. One shot Shu. The hypercharge connects a little bit there with Melty in the back. And he's taking really a lot of care here not to open the map. As long as he keeps this up, he has a little bit of the advantage as the thrower here.
Kai available, super available. Dynamite as well. He's gonna jump in. Sure, not find a single target. Unfortunately, Kai falls immediately. But fortunately for him, CC has everything under control in the back. He immediately gets another takedown, 2v2. And Kai comes back out of spawn now. Reject had a good opportunity there to maybe get close to that goal, but that Dynamite is really standing in the way.
Yeah, it's doing so well getting this spacing up against Battleman, but this is the strength of that Barry. I mean, gotta be able to just kind of go in there. He gets that kill there, and now opens up a Kai's jump in there, but a hypercharge super from Shu is just gonna shut down all of this aggression. Silence the haters here of the Lumi here. That hypercharge is still one of the strongest things in his arsenal. Gonna get a quick team wipe off the backs of that.
Shu with complete mid-control now. Melty and Betterman both are super available. Barry uses his, tries to go in aggressively, but has no backup. Is gonna be standing alone in the front, immediately taken care of. Also feeding Bonnie another ult here with 2 ults available. 1 hypercharge on Team Aqua 10 seconds before the walls break down. It looks like Team Aqua is going to be the one to strike first. Never mind. The nice takedown shortly before the walls break down from Melty. Another one falls. And we have a 2v1 here. Kai, the last hope for Team Aqua.
It's gonna hypercharge jump though, but in overtime it's a little bit harder to land to get the predictions in. Melty's got a hypercharge of his own. Those torpedoes were far enough to get the long range connection. Zen46 is trying to get this kill here on the left, but it's pushed back by Baraba. Now we see a jump and a big barrel boom committed all on the Hank, but he managed to pass the ball forward and passes back to Shu. It's an open lane. It's got a puddle there as his little red carpet to follow. Reject, they're gonna take this game number 1.
One moment of not being too focused, okay? I swear we're seeing a delayed cam, so... but yeah, one moment of unfocus, and in the end, it's always gonna be that, that miscommunication of Team Aqua that we're seeing that in the end makes Reject strike here. Both the Dynamite and the Bonnie focus the same brawler there in the end, and with that, they only take out 1, the other 2 are able to score still unscathed. Now heading into game number 2, Team Aqua really looked good in game number 1. They just need to iron out those last little wrinkles.
It's gonna really come down to Kai's hypercharge here at the moment. Can't even get it off there. I mean, kind of wanted to walk up into the entirety of Reject and try to get full value off the stuns, but honestly, not the greatest usage of his abilities there. Long range, he could try and find the super here, but I think he's thinking twice about it. Gonna wait for Zen46 to be the first initiator here. Now he's trying to play from inside the bush, not committed just yet. Battleman just shoving CC all the way back into the base. Finally, we see a jump there from KY, but it's too little too late and completely off the mark. Reject cleave through entirely of Team Aqua.
Coming in from Betterman, gets a kill onto CC. Kai's the last man standing, can't defend on his own. This is going to be a 1-0 for Reject. Completely different from that game number 1 where we had to go all the way to overtime. Reject strikes fast in this one. Kaina with a super available, but Reject still with complete mid-control. Nobody can really push them back at the moment. CC is trying hard, hitting double with his shots, but in the end, Kai's gonna go in. Falls 2v1, make it a 3v1 now as Zen falls as well. CC, the last man standing, can't defend, and Reject takes this brawl ball set.
Huge gamble there from Team Aqua. At least the plushies are still looking solid here. Played on the right side, by the way. We might see a hand that pops in there to say hi once in a while. But so far, they are that shy. They're just going to be completely off the frame there. But nonetheless, though, that's a quick 2 sets going to the way of Reject. And Team Aqua, they seem to have a better shot even in Hot Zone over there. I mean, now headed over to New Horizons, which this map is a little bit cursed. I've got to say, I mean, Reject, they've already lost 1 time here up against a rival in a really scrappy series. And this is the best chance, I think, that Team Aqua have a chance to make a comeback here, but I think Reject will find big adaptations after that loss against rival.
I'm super excited to see how well they will do in this one. It's already 2-0 for Reject. but this doesn't really reflect how close the match has been so far. Team Aqua looking super strong also in Brawl Ball, made it closer yet again. And now they still have a chance to turn things around here, to not drop out of that bracket just yet. We have Charlie, Kit, and Ollie banned from the side of Team Aqua, 3 of the strongest brawlers on a map like this one, so I assume Reject has first pick. Let's see if I'm going to be right for once. Cordelius, Buster, and Gus are going to be banned out from Reject, picking up that Gene. And yeah, I don't know, we saw Gene banned out many times today. Was this a bit of a mistake here, Spoo, to leave him open?
Big gamble for sure. This is a #1 ban for a lot of people in Knockout, especially. It doesn't matter really what the map is. New Horizons, you know, it's a big threat. I mean, you're just always gonna get a lot of sprinkle pressure from the Gene shots. Vengeful Spirits in this map can find good value and good connections, and then late game you get that pull online. It's always an instant kill on this map. A lot of good Gene pairings as well, and to be honest, this is one of the few maps where a lot of the typical Gene counters are also not in. So I have to see some work come from Team Aqua here. They've got to have some brawlers that are they're trading for this Gene to make it worth it. Okay, at least they get the Bonnie, at least they get the Angelo. This is 2 stuff that they denied Reject the pleasure of playing. This is very much drafting just from Reject's pool.
I do like the 3 brawlers we're seeing so far. A lot of long range here. A little bit of aggression also with the Bonnie. Now, what do you pair with Gene? Sometimes we do see Ruffs come out here at this point. Field promotion paired with the Gene. They can heal up each other. They can make sure the Gene is super tanky, and yet at the end of the game, we're gonna see an aggressive brawler instead. Jaeyoung come out at last. So we have double support for Melty on the Kaze, and we get another aggressive brawler also on the side of Team Aqua. Solid drafts in both ends. If I had to go with one, I would probably pick Rejects though, because yeah, with double support, the Kaze is just gonna do super well, can really go in aggressively, doesn't really have to worry about making sure she's staying healthy, as the Jaeyoung can heal her even from afar. We have a little switch here. Shu's actually gonna be on the Kaze. Fang, a brawler we haven't seen in a while. I'm eager to see how well he's gonna do into Kaze. I believe she has the upper hand in that direct matchup though.
Don't want to hype things up too much, Sunny. It was because you weren't around for that season 1, but Team Aqua, they were the team that pioneered this sort of Fang selection. Zen46 really likes his Fang pick here. I mean, I think he's gonna get minced alive here by Shu just from pure skill gap perspective. But they, at the time when Kenji was the most broken brawler in the game, they theorized that Fang could be a potentially good, counter to it. I guess it's got a similar idea here up against the Kaze. Use the stun, the burst damage to deny that mobility, and it's always a consistent target you can charge supers off. But it's I'm gonna be honest, it's not an easy brawler whatsoever to play into this comp.
We have 2 super available already on the side of Reject, 1 on Fang on the side of Team Aqua as well. Let's see who's gonna strike first. For now, we just want CC to have a super as well. Bonnie really trying hard to get it, using a gadget even, but the Reject doing well to just keep dodging. They know the Bonnie can't really do too much unless she has a super available. Smoke coming in now. We find all the brawlers in mid here. Strike first. Zen is going to take down Batman. Shu falls. Zen the only man to fall on the side of the blue roster. Team Aqua takes this first round.
Unbelievable play there from Zen46, and great read from him. Went straight for the cluster between Battleman and Melty, and Melty's running Vengeful Spirits in this case, so doesn't really have the lamp blowout to protect him from aggression there from the Fang, and Shu wasn't there really to follow up there with burst damage of his own here. But they've got to let that one go. Melty now trying to find a pull here off the backs of the speed from Battleman. Should be looking for Bonnie as the target. It's pretty difficult to pull Zen46 or KY. The additional move speed that they have. Should be an easy pull here. Goes for it, flashes it once again. Doesn't choose to commit.
Melty with a super available. Will he be able to pull someone? No, Kai dodges it. Didn't even have to use the gadget there. Would have been a little bit too late, but okay, he does dodge it. CC unfortunately goes down there on the right-hand side. Kaze with a strike now, so hypercharge available. Batman with a super. And we now are in a 3v2 situation. Team Aqua knows this is already over. Not to charge any more supers, but 2 hypercharges available. from Reject. The Jean and the Kaze. Kaze gonna strike immediately. Not something that Team Aqua expected, but they were ready for it. Take her out. It's a 2v2.
The stun there from Zen46 really saved the rest of the team here. Now it's 2 versus 2. And I've got to say, when you take out the Kaze and the Fang from the equation here, it's really going to come down to whether Melty gets that pull and gets an instant burst damage of kill. Otherwise, if CC gets that late game hypercharge, this could potentially go the way of Team Aqua. So both teams really desperately trying to farm up crucial utility to set themselves up for that late game.
With a hypercharge now also available on both brawlers of Team Aqua. CC just waiting for the perfect moment. Jean though still with hypercharge super available. It's going to be dangerous for Team Aqua. They really need to wait it out here and potentially dodge the super. Melty pops the hypercharge. CC reacts to it with a jump himself. Falls immediately though. Kai, the last man standing, does find one. Can he find another? It's Melty versus Kai. It's Jean versus Angelo. Who will get the win for their team? And the last man standing in the end is gonna be Melty. He wins the set, or the game at least, for Reject. Set is not over just yet. What a tight race here, but for now, match point for Reject.
Oh man, I thought Kyle was gonna clutch it up again. I mean, this man has been just such a menace on his Angelo. He did the same thing against Rival Esports and made them, you know, worry for a moment there. But Melty understands the assignment, understood the matchup and how to play it up at the end there. He dodged it beautifully. I mean, if he landed a single one of those shots early on, could have spelled doom for him there. It was really, really close. And that's putting Reject on match point. Could be an early exit here for Team Aqua. They've made it so far here, but so far they haven't managed to take a single set of Reject.
Team Aqua now needs to pull up their socks. It's now or never for them. They need a complete reverse sweep to still be able to win against Reject today, as they have already match point. But they've been in that situation before. They've themselves been in the match point against Rival, and Rival just beat Reject, so in that logic, Team Aqua should be able to take Reject down today. We have Reject once again standing in mid here. Team Aqua just trying to farm supers. They have them available. Fang unfortunately misses his and potentially falls. He does, as a punishment for that miss super.
Oh, big one there as well. I mean, can't really blame him there. As I said, this is a really tough Fang matchup. You're contending there with Bottomman's speed and Shu's mobility as well. I mean, just look at how fast the Reject roster surged into mid control. I mean, this is why Jae Yong is such a highly prized brawler on this map. I mean, it's just the tempo control that you get from that mid. And now, once again, they're back inside the base here. Melty's flashing pulls there. Fanstone goes out there to isolate, force the entire team onward to the left side of the map. Even Melty now managed to get the max range, but CC there, big stun from him. Shu there answers with a hypercharge super of his own, so ends up being a trade, and now it's all hands on deck. Chase down Kai, don't let him out, and there you have it, folks. Reject, expectedly so, gonna clean sweep Team Aqua out from the Rival Challengers League. A great showing from Team Aqua today, but it is Reject that will not be denied. They're going to be your second team going to our day number 3 of the playoffs.
Beautiful stuff coming out of Reject now. They really struggled against Rival. They did drop to the lower bracket after all, but then they take it against Team Aqua. And yes, I'm smiling. I'm not yet on the camera, but just give it another second and you will see me smiling in a minute. Yeah, I'm slow-mo. I'm back. Okay, hello. We don't have any production issues today. I also want to give another shout out to BB. They unfortunately dropped out first today, but I really appreciate both their My Hero Academia and their Piplup reference. So yeah, we take it. But anyways, we have BB and Team Aqua leave us, unfortunately, Spoo. But how great were they playing today? I want to see more of Team Aqua after today.
Yep. I'm glad to tell you that they are present inside the BSC. They just happen to always not make it past the second day of qualifiers. But make no mistake, this is a team that you have to look out for in future. A lot of great rising talents from them. I mean, going up against Reject though, I mean, 0-3. It looks bad on paper, but come on, they put up an amazing show today, up against Rival, up against BB, and now up against Reject. They should be content, you know. At the very least, in East Asia, they can say that they're among the top 6.
it really seemed like they had a chance. Even against Reject today, they had some shining moments, took a couple of games, or at least got close to it. Against Rival, they even took 2 sets. Really, really good stuff. Now, let's bring in the man that makes this all possible. I'm super glad to just be here as a guest today, but it wouldn't be possible this whole show without both Spoo and Reddy. Those two have been working behind the scenes all day long, actually even for months already. I remember 2 months ago, Reddy was already showing off all the new features he developed for this one. So yeah, huge props to both of you.
Thank you. Well, I wish you'd gotten to see them all. It's just, you know, when you test it in a live environment, it's very, very different. Hopefully we get those replays working for you for the remainder of the weekend, because I was really, really proud of that feature. And anytime I tried to show it to you, they didn't play. And what's the point of a replay if you have only re and no play? So we'll get that working.
It's a refreeze frame, not a replay.
Yeah, there you go. Refreeze is what you have. But look, at least we can keep our eyes locked ahead towards the future, while also remembering what happened today. Spoo, so walk us through the journey of our 2 qualified teams.
All right, so in our upper bracket matchup, we started things off with Reject versus BB. That ended expectedly in a 3-1, but BB did manage to take 1 set of Reject using a pretty useful cheese comp. And on the other side, no, Rival Esports up against Team Aqua was, I think, the banger of the day. 3 versus 2, 3-2 reverse sweep there from them, allowing them to get a matchup against Reject in the upper bracket final. Sadly, we said goodbye to BB in that lower bracket round 1. Team Aqua kept their dreams alive momentarily, sweeping them 3-0, showing excellent mastery over there. Then we had our upper bracket final where Ken G subbed in for Rival Esports and showed why he still deserves to be a competitive player, and he's at the top of his game. Finally though, in our lower bracket final, which we just witnessed, was a 3-0 from Team Aqua, a quick one at that to round up the day, which brings our 2 qualified teams to be Rival Esports in Seed 1 and Reject in Seed number 2. We will see them again on day 3.
And yet, there's an entire day of competition that has to happen between then and now. That's day number 1 complete, but day number 2 is on the horizon, and day number 3 is where we're going to see all 4 teams that make it to that stage. Folks, that is it from us for the day, but before we end things off, I want to send it over to you two for any final thoughts.
You may start. Spoo, you're the one sitting next to Reddy.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he froze for a moment. He didn't say anything.
He was just waiting, I think.
Spoo, it's your turn.
I am waiting. No. I mean, I have a lot to say. But Sunny, I mean, it was an absolute pleasure having you. I really missed this, and I think the audience missed this as well. It's a rare opportunity that we get to bring the hostess of BSC to show up, to actually cast once again. You know, put on the caster cap once more and show that she's still got her stuff intact, and she most certainly does. And I had a lot of fun today. I mean, even through all our wading through so much fires to put out today, and thank you to you guys for watching as well, for sticking with all of that. I hope we'll bring our A game back tomorrow once again. And Sunny, I will miss you.
I'll miss you too, guys. It's a huge pleasure to be here today. And yes, I've been putting more work into hosting recently, not only the BSC, but didn't cast for a while, but I'm super glad to be casting today. It was really nice for me personally, but also just to be here alongside you two. Some long time friends. I also was mirrored. Okay, good job. Well, anyways, it's super exciting day overall. Like, really, the story of Rival, we could not have written the script better ourselves, with Rival in the end taking the whole day, qualifying as first team, even winning against Reject, the team that has just recently won the monthly finals. So yeah, super nice story. Rival taking the first spot in the Rival Challengers League. And yeah, I hope you two have a phenomenal time also tomorrow and on Sunday. I'm going to be watching from afar. I'm going to probably be heading to Gamescom now. 1 year ago, the three of us met in person there, and I'm going to be thinking of you two. I'm going to be watching, and yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Sonny. It was lovely having you. You know what I think of you. I'll see you tomorrow. And I hope to see you folks watching tomorrow as well. It's going to be the same time and the same place here on Twitch and on YouTube. Playoffs at day number 2 get started tomorrow at 7 p.m. JST. You won't want to miss it. Spoo and I will be waiting for you. See you then, guys.
Make a life for myself. 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 Make a life for